So if you dey wonder how much my thing be my God. No money, how me here while it be my God. So when you see me rolling on your block, it be my God.
The checker is residing in the deepest part of my belly. I didn't eat the hedgehog soup, but I had it yesterday with fufu.
I'm not even talking to you right now. I'm not even talking.
I'm so happy to be back. The West was great, but it's great to be home. Welcome. Today is the 22nd of September 2021, the day after the holiday, and our journey to the West. Yes, it was a journey to the West. Yes, back from Zulezu and Nkrofo. Wonderful, wonderful experience. We'll chat more about it later on the show. But it's great to be back. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. What has been happening in my absence?
A lot. We've been linking up with you for this intercity breakfast show we called it. I mean, where else will you see this? Only on GTV. And so that's all we've been up and about. We've been celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. A few more days left to end the month, and we'll still be updating you on some more of his wise words. Yesterday we had a historian in the studio. You spoke to a cinematographer. Like, it was just awesome. A poet. The gift that kept on giving was what yesterday's show was all about.
Music too, from the West.
Oh my.
Aka
Blay
champion.
And he sang in Nzema.
Yes.
I didn't understand half of what he sang, but
so you pick one like that. You know?
So thank you for joining us. It's been a joy bringing you all those stories from the Western region. We are back in Accra now, and even though we maintain the scope across the country and beyond, this is our base, and we are glad to welcome you to our studios here at Broadcasting House in Accra. Today we have another interesting lineup of discussions and topics and conversations for you. The Minerals Commission will be in the house at 8 a.m. as they do every Wednesday. We'll have a capacity building for journalists coming up, and we'll look at what opportunities that presents to journalists when it comes to responsible reporting.
There's a conversation on green buildings, so it's not just orange dresses and pink ties. Green buildings as well. We're keeping an eye, we're doing rush hour, and then, hey, I went, she wasn't here. I came back, and she's here.
Hiya.
And her name is Valerie. I heard about gallery yesterday.
I know.
Which is great because you are like a beautiful painting in a gallery, so why not?
No, Capri, but that's my name.
No.
My name is Valerie.
Valerie in the gallery.
Well, yeah, I'll say that. Hi guys, good morning. Well, today I'm not coming to you from the Walmart side of the couch. This is a new interactive wall, so I'll be your host and your personal interactive wall presenter. So that's for you to note. And then also on the trends this morning, we have iOS 15, we have Auto Ado, we have iMessage, we have Hotel Rwanda, and we have hashtag Sex Life. I wonder why these are trending. Do you know why? If you do, send us your messages via our WhatsApp number 0555 61034 and on our GTV hashtag on all our social media handles. And then later on also, I did a little snooping into how you can cosmetic of the feet. Do you know what that is? Well, it's really simple. We do it every day. So we're going to go to a little spa we found, and then we'll bring you the ins and outs of cosmetic feeting. Over to you guys.
Cosmetic
I think my feet need that kind of action.
Some love. Show the feet some love.
Yeah.
And it would be good to catch up on that. Isn't that same as like mani-pedi, like manicure and pedicure?
Oh, why are you trying to?
I
found a new term for
curious.
it, cosmetic feeting.
I like
why
it.
do you want to start?
I am asking.
I like it. Hashtag money pedding and then hashtag
cosmetic feet.
Yes, wonderful.
Remember, this show is proudly brought to you by Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paints, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. My Lovely Dress by Barbara Couture. So follow on Facebook at Barbara Couture, Instagram Barbara_Couture GH for such lovely outfits and more.
Yes, and before the weather, before the trends, let's do our wisdom nugget. You know, a nugget is something that is very valuable, and you have to polish it to get the deep meaning out of it, deep value. Today's wisdom nugget is on emotional intelligence. And here comes Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi for this beautiful Wednesday. Enjoy.
Hello, it's a good morning to you. So exciting as always, and very humbling for me to come your way with the wisdom nugget for your day. And nugget a day keeps the problems away. So let's keep taking in these wisdom nuggets, and we're going to keep getting better and better and deal with the problems that confront us on a day-to-day basis. And today I'm talking about the subject, emotional intelligence. Our wisdom nugget for today is emotional intelligence. In other words, we all need to grow our emotional intelligence. None of us is perfect. You know, research has shown us that it's not just our IQ, which is our intelligent quotient, that is so important. But we have found out that emotional intelligence is perhaps even more important than just your intellectual quotient, which is your IQ. Now, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is simply your ability to understand your own emotions, first of all, and also your ability to sort of try to understand the emotions of other people, and then you use your understanding of your emotions and other people's emotions to relate well with people. Having met people who are almost shut off as far as, you know, understanding other people's emotions are concerned. I mean, recently, you know, I was supposed to have a meeting, you know, with two other people, and the meeting was canceled because one of the persons had lost someone that was very close to this person. And so the third person, when the third person was informed that the meeting has been canceled because this person had been bereaved, the third person simply said, okay, no problem, let's reschedule. Now, I was so hit by that. The person was so unemotionally intelligent that he couldn't even say, oh, really? You lost someone? You know, I'm so sorry. So let's reschedule the meeting. You see how emotional intelligence comes in. There are people who cannot sense the emotions and the feelings of other people. Now, if you're going to succeed in your career, if you're going to be able to relate well with people wherever you find yourself, it's important. Do you understand your own personal emotions? as well as try to understand the emotions of other people, and then use those two to relate well with people. Now, how are some of the few ways that you can be able to grow your emotional intelligence? It starts with one, a greater sense of awareness. You need to monitor yourself. You need to understand your emotions. What are the things that makes you angry? When are you, overly emotional? What are the things that triggers different kinds of emotion? You study yourself, please, and get to know yourself better so you understand your emotions. Number two, you need to be able to learn to empathize. Feel for other people. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Let's not be too quick to judge people or shut off our emotions. It's important that we learn how to empathize. That, when someone is going through something, ask yourself, if I was going through that, how would I feel? If you are like that, you're going to be able to develop great relations. Finally, learn to be a good or a better listener. When you listen well, you're able to hear people's emotions through what they're saying, and then you're able to relate to our people. Hey, today we've been talking about increasing or growing our emotional intelligence as one of the critical ways of growing wisdom, relating with people, and being effective in whatever we do. I wish you a fantastic day as you apply these simple principles of increasing your emotional intelligence, and the results and the successes that are going to come your way will blow your mind. Have a phenomenal day, and see you again on the Wisdom Nugget for your day.
Thank you for staying with us, and let's take a look at the weather, and then when we return, we'll look at all that's happening in the way of trends. Why is Hotel Rwanda trending? There was a field. Listen, watch the weather. We'll be back. Yes. And this is the social media trends hat. Today, look how it's feeling very empty, abandoned, because we are here on our giant wall screen. And social media trends. So you remember the story Hotel Rwanda, the real life story that was made into a movie, right? So the hero in that story, a gentleman called Paul, I hesitate to say his name, is Rusesa Bagina. So he's been sentenced to what, 25 years in prison
for terrorism
in Rwanda.
Yes. So let me read something small there. It says that a Rwandan court has sentenced Paul Rusesa Bagina, the man who inspired a Hollywood film about the country's 1994 genocide and is an outspoken critic of President Paul Kagame, to 25 years in jail for terrorism. The National Liberation Front, which opposes the Kagame government, is accused of carrying attacks in Rwanda. The court findings that, owing to the testimonies heard, evidence presented, they find that there's a prima facie case against Mr. Paul blah blah on the charge of creation and being a member of a terror group. That's what the judge said. So a terror group. That's number one on trends.
So someone who is widely depicted as a hero in the movie,
because it was a story that inspired the whole
film.
Yeah.
And now He's been sentenced
25
to
years.
25. The conditions under which he was even arrested, you know, he thought he was flying to a speaking engagement in Burundi. The flight ended up landing in Rwanda, and he was arrested at the Kigali airport, and then he was put into jail. And so it caused a lot of
behind
yes.
us.
So it's the gentleman in the mask. At least he's social distance and wearing mask and everything. That's what you should do as well wherever you go. When you go out in public, wear your mask, maintain the distance, because COVID is still very much with us. So that's why Hotel Rwanda is trending. But Fix the Country is also trending because yesterday there was a demo in Takrady. And when you were returning, I'm sure you touched upon a piece of it.
Quite busy, you know, people were under.
Okay, let me.
Lots of interesting inscriptions.
Okay.
Fix Ghana now. I saw something about Zuma lands. So this is a drone shot of what was happening.
Can we add Fix the Motorway, the Akratama Motorway, to this Fix the Country thing? I want to start a campaign. Fix that.
Was it on Monday that the Honorable Titus Glover was here and he was talking about it and said
we have a couple of tweets.
Okay, let me move out of the way again.
We won't give up until we see a better Ghana. We demand a new constitution. Hashtag Nkrumah Day demo. Hashtag Fix the Country. Hashtag Justice for Kaka. Hashtag 21st September.
That's a lot of hashtags.
The poorer they keep you, the richer they become. Wake up Ghana, wake up. Thank you. At ELF Fighters and at Ghana GH Fix the Country. We tire indeed. Hashtag Nkrumah Day demo, gathering momentum in Takrady. Lots of biceps. And yeah, greedy politicians in Zuma lands not for sale. Somebody's asking the president who he met as Zimahini during his tour. Killer rents. They're supposed to serve. Oh, so yeah, promises Zuma's petroleum hub. Why Ghana say at Kwauble. Fuel prices decay. One a business. Ghanaians don't have president. Yes, we're working for a company. Well, so all these messages on the placards during the Fix the Country demo. It looks like every public holiday they will hit the streets.
Yep, it's becoming a trend.
Or a trend almost, yes, indeed. So that's it. Those are the colors. Bright yellow and lots of activity in Takrady on the holiday. What do you think? Let us know. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. Send us a WhatsApp 055-556-1034. You're watching hashtag GTV Breakfast.
It's like we are not done with coups in the continent yet.
That's a trend we don't want, man.
We do not want that. I don't even want to talk too much about it. But then Sudan.
I don't want to.
At least it failed. It was not.
Yes, but the first picture that was out on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw it.
No.
When they had the army trucks and then the guys were just standing there. It actually looked funny.
Did it?
It did.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know about funny.
The latest on that is that 21 officers have been arrested as of this morning. And you see, on the way back from the Western region, we were having this conversation in the bus, and we said, listen, as a coups, if you fail a coup, you're in trouble. Because those 21 officers are in big soup. So that's what's happening in Sudan. So far, latest reports, it was foiled. Officers have been arrested. I'm sure they'll be tried. And the law will take its course. But it's a trend that we really do not want to have again. It's not like going back to the 60s and 70s where coups were.
The BBC saying since the first successful coup in Togo in 1960, Africa has seen more than 200 coup attempts and nearly half have been successful. Sudan has had the most with 15. 5 of them successful. Today's coup attempt in Sudan just happened a few hours ago. That was reported by the BBC yesterday.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So those are the trends on the continent of Africa. Anything else?
Yes. On the GBC side of things, we will be unveiling our very new telenovela on our popular lifestyle channel. I'm excited because apart from the fact that, you know, telenovelas are the in thing now and everybody wants to have a favorite in there, we are bringing a story that I'm sure will be very, very compelling, and we'll be premiering that on the Lifestyle channel. So scan your TV, you need to get Lifestyle, and you do not want to miss this new telenovela. I think we are ready to show you a little bit of it though, so have a look and we'll be back to tell you all about what you should expect with that new series.
Nipa opepepe nson ena wo wiase manyina obia so gidi yese oye son kokra nanso hwehwemu adede de se nipa nson ena ne onipa baakofo esepepepe
munyina de na koso what's up good morning senka mini gidi wade we mu a enkenya de amede de me nyina ene adwumade a ya nyina ebeso esan mu enche kwa ye besa bedi won kan bim
we are fear fish down. In pass and a fish down. A fish po. You can't Marinella. If I wish my task kuchu. Marinella, what do you want for one networking business if you want? I didn't know Ramon. I didn't know about Marinella. Lisa,
mo kan share no. In share na nyina ji tu mu no.
Acha ne busumi nsia. Aware ni baba so.
What? Papa be
me sika nyina na go so no.
O ka chere so baka. Papa me sure ye betua why?
So wentia, me ko papa.
Me sure boss ye betua. We just mu na kwa.
Me no ya adwen.
Sisi ame wa brabo foforo.
Na minim kra say ni.
Me wa share. Ade ntina wo se me pina ade we so. Ade LGC Eco Bank of Nti ana. Betimi aso we ano papa.
Esanse me na me kan.
Adia din power brabo emu ene se obenya odofo a oye wo mfempa de
we de na ne na usura undi mona fire ai ready akwe hu ayetan
Ya dwen ko benkro mu ma ye nware na fe ntina mom.
see me mpese me ye oyere.
Lifestyle TV and the romantic comedy yesongo kura abrel.
Your family yo tabayoyo. Hey, muji now. E dia sam.
Jami. Oh, mo jami mo.
Boss mom.
Sorry. Say, oh, be when you didn't say pepe so swear.
It's na me we no cray.
Two Hearts. Just say Lifestyle TV sonkwa.
So, Two Hearts premiering on the 4th of October on Lifestyle TV. So, GBC's Lifestyle channel is premiering that interesting series that has been dubbed into the Tree language, and it should be very interesting. It's the story about Mona and Lisa, and they are two different women with identical faces. So I saw you saw in the clip that there were two women. One was a bit tomboyish. I like that character. Mona de obey hoti.
I want to be Mona, please.
Please, you are Lisa. I beg, stay in your corner.
Okay, so
stay there. Two women, identical faces, both facing challenging ordeals in their lives. So Lisa, with their show, is a strict and hardworking boss in her father's business. The L'Oreal group of companies. Her world suddenly turns upside down when her father betrothed her to their business rival's son, Martin Ko. In order to avoid the marriage, Lisa hides with one of her workers, Leo Tabayo. Hey, so, Mr.
Can you play the
Tabayo? It sounds like a nice name from Quarter Region. Oh. Tabayo.
That's why you are it.
Yeah, I like it.
So I'm Lisa. Yes. So listen. So bringing this to our Ghanaian setting. This is us maybe like on set. Charlie, you guys are about to give you a real life series. So. Calf will be torn between you and I. So maybe on every episode, when it premieres, every episode, when we come in the morning, whether you like it or not,
we're enemies.
Yes, we're enemies. And then we'll have to tell our viewers what happened. So Calf, get ready to choose.
We will be watching, and we expect you to be watching as well. And we'll create a hashtag. 2 Hearts will be the hashtag. 2 Hearts will be the hashtag. So hashtag 2 Hearts, hashtag lifestyle, and hashtag GTV breakfast. How about
usual,
that?
yes.
And then every time an episode drops, we'll talk about it. Then if Lisa crosses Mona, Tabayoyo will be.
I feel the name. Tabayoyo.
So 4th of October, you do not want to miss that premiere. You don't want to miss it on Lifestyle. So set for Lifestyle on your TV set. Just scan through the channels and you should.
And Lifestyle is on all the social media networks. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and I think IG. So
and
guys, we'll be
up chat room too.
Yes, there'll be a chat room. Guys, there's a lot in store. We have lifestyle a la carte.
Hey,
so there's a lot in store for you guys from the 4th of October. We promise to give you back-to-back entertainment on Lifestyle channel, guys. So
and there's the chat room, like I said, and there's a little teaser over the chat room as well. Let's have a look. I'm excited. Let's
Mr. Tabayoyo. Oh, it's there. It's behind us.
What you be at there? So has the novella. Campus by at the keke.
Oh, yes. When you baby on more of a fiabo. Oh, if I was here, say, what the family? Huh? Who saw no all by the Jewish? Hey, 2 hearts, dear, and 1 sem, dear. Hey, a bed or something. 2 hearts. None of the job. Just say, Bibi Yabaqua, not a cabba. Look at Quelle. Never have a cabba, let me quarter.
Because you're 2 hearts telling of it. Maybe something sweet, not something fried, which are injury. Something opposed to when you're going to make one. In fact, so I'm saying, I'm sorry. 2 hearts telenovela. Why should send your media on your back over the BA? Who said, Mr. Kenny Babu, and now some papa was sick of a dinner, and that's so say, maybe say, we can see for ya. 2 hearts telenovela. She's a telenovela when they do trouble, and then the Asha calling you. Of course, the family, oh, Hammy, of course, try me ever started just a time, eh? Yashasi, and Mamma Tray, when you have a me. Sini was so beer. Lifestyle television, dear Bedras, and then once on a monkey. A telenovela beer, yeah, dear buy any jasso. Now, Pemun pa etia, Dimechinian call lifestyle chat room. Yet in here, you know, a honey about Nasi. I've been doing who a bar, yet me peppy, Sinimu, and Timo my young concussion. Our lifestyle television, sir.
2 hearts.
Exclusively on Lifestyle television. Lifestyle.
Aren't you excited, Mr. Tabayoyo?
I think I need a tattoo on my chest.
From the 4th of October, guys. From the 4th of October.
Okay,
You
right.
should probably learn like karate.
I'm looking forward to our mornings. It will be very interesting.
I'm parachuting from the top, onto the set.
Man.
My landing Tabayoyo.
All right, guys.
2 Hearts premiering 4th of October, Lifestyle TV. Lifestyle TV is one of GBC's channels. You should get on that train and join the chat room as well, and let's all enjoy the story together. I'm sure we can all relate to something in the identical twins separated somehow, meeting under some circumstances, and then
Weird
finding out the show way later.
Falling for the same guy.
Imagine. That part I'm not going to like. So yes, we are all excited, gearing up to watch 2 Hearts on Lifestyle. Hashtag 2 Hearts, hashtag Lifestyle TV, and we'll be with you all the way along this journey.
4th October, guys.
So 4th October, pencil that, in fact, pen that into your diary, and then we'll watch it together. How about that? Send us your messages and comments on our WhatsApp line 055-55-61034. Thanks to our sponsors, Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Adunko Next Level Energy Drink. Thanks to Barbara's Couture for my lovely outfit. Barbara Couture on Facebook, Barbara_Couture GH on Instagram. Follow her and buy from her as well. And we'll be back to look into the issue of green buildings, and we'll tell you what all that's about after the break. We'll be back.
Tabayoyo.
This is the breakfast show.
Good to be back here, and our WhatsApp number remains the same. It didn't change because I went to Zulezu or Nkrofu. It's still the same. 055-556-1034. And catch us on our socials. Just look for the hashtag GTV Breakfast. Still to come, rush hour from Spintex, Kotobabi Junction and Children's Park intersection. And we are keeping an eye on Texpo Stretch and Peshi Lagoon. Something for you to think about. Who will be Ghana's new coach for the Black Stars? Is it that the GFA like the taste of Milo, or they are going for Otto Addo? We will find out pretty soon. Pretty soon. The 3 days deadline elapsed, so now they must deliver for us to be happy. We just want to go to the World Cup and get to semi-finals at least. All right. So what do you think about that? Let us know. And for now, we're going to have a little conversation before the headlines on something that should interest you a lot. You know about pink ties and orange or yellow couches, but what about green buildings? When somebody says they're talking about a green building, what does it mean? Is it just a color, or is there something deeper beyond that? There's a conversation happening tomorrow and on Friday concerning the Ghana Green Building Summit. But before that conversation, let's find out exactly what we're talking about. My guest is Executive Director and the founder of the Ghana Green Building Summit, Cyril Ni Ayite Tete. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ojeko Lo. Thank you very much. Good morning. Good to see you here.
Yeah, good to see you as well. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I'm loving your new set.
Charlie, we are loving it also.
Just needs a touch of green.
I can see
a potted
plant.
Oh,
Green Day.
Yeah.
And while we are on the subject, what exactly is a green building?
Okay. So green buildings, if you want to go the way of definitions way back when we were in school, you'd say it's a building that is resource and energy efficient and also has less impact on the environment.
Break it down for us.
Good. I was just going to say, when you say like that, it doesn't really resonate with a lot of people. So basically, if you want to break it down, we look at a building's envelope. When we say a building's envelope, we just mean the walls, the roof, the foundation, and even the external surrounding in terms of landscaping and the greens and the plants. That's why I even mentioned plants as well. So basically, if you take a building, it's built with traditional concrete blocks, and then you roof it, and then you'd expect that when you live in it, you'd have some level of comfort, and then also it would not have too much impact on your finances. I always like to tackle green buildings from the aspect of health and finances. Now, it would interest you to know that some of the paints that we even use to paint our buildings contain volatile organic compounds. Basically, just means that it contains some chemicals that give off. And you realize that sometimes you're in an office and there's always this guy who has sinus issues or reacting or has constant headaches. It's all because of that.
Could be the paint.
It could be the paint. It could be the paint. Or there's not enough. It will surprise you that daylighting, allowing a lot of daylight into the surrounding that you are, can affect your mood, can affect your productivity, and even your health as well. Interestingly enough, if you are exposed to enough daylighting, it adds 46 minutes more to your sleep cycle.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So when you tackle green buildings from the aspect of health, there are clear benefits if you go green. Now, what do we mean by going green? Basically, we look at the elements of design. That's why I mentioned daylighting. So then a design that allows enough natural light into your environment, because it also affects your mood as well. And then there's a bit about energy efficiency, which a lot of people connect to, because actually the pocket, if you use a lot of ACs and all of that, it affects the pocket. But there are low-hanging measures that we can always employ, because sometimes when you talk green or you talk energy efficiency, some people's mind go to solar and other big add-ons. But if you even change your incandescent bulbs to LED bulbs, that is another way of going green. So there's that as well. There's water conservation as well. In terms of what kind of faucets you use in the house. Do you use low flow faucets? There are some faucets, as soon as you open the tap.
It's like a waterfall.
and you're wasting a lot of water. Even with your WCs in the house, these days they are double flash systems. You can use the low flash one when you do number one, and then you know what to do when you do this when you go to the second step. So there's that as well. Even your shower heads that you install in the house in your houses, it can be that the how low it is or how it's been installed would emit a lot of water, and then there's a lot of wastage.
So what is it? Is it the higher it is, the more water you waste, or the lower it is? I mean, you're talking about installation of the shower head.
Yes. So it has to be installed in such a way, that you assess it easily, so that you don't waste too much water. So there are all these measures that go to make a building green. So I mentioned design, I mentioned energy efficiency, I mentioned water conservation, and then there's also indoor air quality, which is very interesting because of the times that we are in. I mentioned potted plants. Yes. There are plants, there's aloe vera, there are snake plants that you can employ within. Yeah, snake plant.
What's the snake doing with the plant?
You know those very spiky plants that have the yellow and green mood? Yeah, those are the snake plants. And they clean and purify the indoor air that you are in. Indoor air quality is very important because, it's, like I mentioned, even with the paint, it contributes to or facilitates the spread of respiratory disease. And of course, you know the times that we are in, we're in COVID times. So there's that bit as well. And then there's materials, which is the very interesting part for a lot of people, because the kind of traditional or conventional, I won't say even traditional, because traditional could even go back to the kind of mud houses, which were rather good for raffia
buildings.
You have the apport, So if we use the conventional concrete blocks, they retain a lot of heat. Some time ago, when I was in my house, I just leaned onto my wall and I was like, wow, it had retained so much heat. And what happens when your walls retain a lot of heat? You'd have to use more, you use AC more than usual, or you use fans more than usual. Then you see that it has an effect on your energy bills as well. So that's why I keep going the line of the green buildings could also affect your finances as well. So materials, what we are doing these days is to promote the use of local and sustainable materials.
What would be some examples in our system?
Great. So these days, they are using rammed earth. Rammed earth, bottom line, is a fancy way of saying they're using mud. You know, when you go to the village, I'm sure you've taken notice, when you go there, the rooms are much cooler.
Yeah. I was in the Western region over the weekend. Yeah, the rooms were cooler.
They are cooler.
Natural ventilation.
They are cooler. Yes. I always tell the story of way back when we were using materials like that. We had a lot of greenery around us, so then environment was much cooler. And these days we're using a lot of blocks. I want to avoid the word traditional, conventional concrete blocks, and they just retain a lot of heat. And even in the production of these blocks, we use cement. And cement is known to be one of the major causes of carbon emissions. And this is the opportunity that I'd want to even tackle the bigger aspect of climate change, because then when you understand the bigger picture of climate change, you understand the role of buildings and how when you control buildings, you can also control carbon emissions. Now, the world had a way of controlling, or there was a natural cycle of controlling the world's temperature. The sun shines during the day, there's a lot of heat, and then at night heat rises. Right. However, because of our own human activities, we in the evolution of time, we decided that we've become advanced. We needed to build more secure homes and buildings and offices. There was the industrial age, so then there was employment of fossil fuels that was also used, and then what it created was that there was a lot of carbon emissions. Now, what carbon does is that when it rises or is prevalent within a particular environment, it creates a layer in the atmosphere that's trapping the heat that should ordinarily rise from the earth the surface of the earth at night. So that's why you hear global warming every day, because there's too much carbon in the system. So I'm sure you hear a lot of people going like reducing the carbon footprint,
the ozone layer issues,
reducing the carbon footprint, or decarbonizing. So everything that we do, it will interest you. When you wake up in the morning, you drink a glass of juice, you are contributing to climate change. How is that? Because that juice was probably imported. Transportation contributes to a lot of carbon emissions. Now, buildings also has a big role, because buildings around the world, the total aggregate of energy used by buildings is as much as 40%. That's how much buildings contribute to climate change. So then we realize that if we are going to contribute to climate action, there's a need to also drive and promote green buildings. And as I mentioned, I'll just summarize, it just has to do with design of your particular building. You realize that even back in the day, when buildings were constructed, they added sun shading to the windows, or even the orientation of the building. Do you have to place the building to face north or to face south to avoid direct sun coming into the building? They were just little things in terms of design. I mentioned energy efficiency, water conservation, and the materials that you use. You mentioned the raffia. It will interest you to know that there's a lot of work being done with raffia these days. I mentioned rammed earth, which is bottom line mud that we're employing these days. So there's a gradual mindset shift towards the use of sustainable local materials, which at the end of the day contributes to lowering your utility bills, as I said, and then also creating a safer and healthier environment in which you live.
It looks like lots of benefits for us in terms of the pressure on the pocket and health and energy consumption. I'm just curious, how common is this concept of green buildings in Ghana, and what would be the affordability? I mean, in terms of, yes, is this expensive?
The uptake is really low, and that's why there's a need for the sensitization and creating awareness of green buildings. And for us, we created a forum back in 2017, bottom line, to increase the awareness and sensitization. And we've been doing that, and gradually we are realizing that a lot of people are gradually changing their mindsets, because apart from the fact that you have direct health and financial benefits, it's almost also becoming very fashionable to go green these days. So gradually people are buying into the idea. But like you said, there's always that myth that is a nice to have, it's not a must have. So if we continue to sell the benefits, then we believe that people will buy into it. And as we've been having the summits, especially from last year, we've gotten a lot of calls for people who are interested in going green. Where do we start? Which architect or professional do we employ? So there's that bit, and that's why for this particular year we are creating action groups after the summit to be able to create a market, because the uptake is really low. There's no market per se. So then if anybody wants to go green, you're almost like a lone ranger, and it becomes more of a difficulty shifting from the conventional way of doing things, which is easier. So once we are able to scale up some of the green innovators in the system to create a nice virtual cycle where there's demand and then there's supply also meeting demand, then we believe that the uptake would improve and will not be as low as it is currently in the system.
Okay, that takes us nicely to the event, the Ghana Green Building Summit. Give us a sense of what conversations we'll be having, will be taking place, and any keynote speakers. Give us a flavor of that.
All right. So every year what we do is we focus on a particular theme. We focused on materials. For materials in 2019. Last year we focused on design because it was the advent of COVID. And this particular year we're focusing on operations management, because we realized that in a building's life cycle cost, it would interest you to know that only 20% of that cost is taken up by the actual construction. a chunk of a building's life cycle cost is all in operations management, which is 80% of that. So we believe that if you're able to control the maintenance or the management within your particular environment, be it the home, be it the office, then you'll be in a better position to control costs as well. So that's what we are focusing on. And we're looking at it from different angles. We're looking at it from facility management. We're looking at it from water efficient or energy efficient homes. So we've crafted panel discussions around these topics. And every year we've been supported by the Ministry of Works and Housing. So the minister this year, Honorable Francis Asenso-Boakye, would be opening the summit. Okay. The Danish ambassador would also be there because we've always been supported by the Embassy of Denmark as well. And then we have international speakers. When COVID happened last year, it was unfortunate we're down, but we decided to do a virtual summit. And what it did was it opened us up to people all over the world. We had people from Thailand, Zanzibar, Japan attending the summit.
It's a greener summit also.
Say it again.
It was a greener summit.
It was, exactly, because we went virtual. Yeah. So we have an international audience now, and even the speakers as well, from Singapore, from the US, UK, South Africa, Nigeria as well.
What's the format? Is it going to be a hybrid, virtual, fully, or totally in person?
It's going to be a hybrid. So we are inviting a few selected guests to come to the event place, which is at the Cowbank head office. That building itself is very green as well. So it only makes sense that if you're having events like that, you have it at the Cowbank head office. So there's that bit, and then of course we're also offering the opportunity for our audience worldwide, wherever they are, to log in and join the conversations.
How do people join this conversation?
So you just have to register online. You can go to GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com in full. GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com. When you go there, you see the registration button. Just click it and just enter your details, and then you get a joining link. So you can join us from tomorrow, Thursday, all the way through Friday. Very packed sessions, and you will learn a lot. Like I said, the benefits are clear: personal, wellness, and financial benefits. And then, of course, we would also have less impact on the environment by our building activities.
Okay. Is there a cost to taking part in this event?
Free.
It's completely free.
Totally free.
Awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
It's not hitting your pocket at all.
Awesome. GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com is how you want to get in touch and be part of the conversations on green building. Any things you want people to take away from this conversation as we wrap it up?
Let me get philosophical. There's a saying I came across recently that says that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children.
Okay.
Yes, and that's it a lot. It just means that we have a charge to keep. We have a responsibility that whilst we're also going about our present activities, we are able to leave the world in a better shape for our children. So that is the big charge, but like I keep saying, it always comes back to the present where you feel the benefits in terms of wellness, finances, and then of course the environment. So that should always be on our minds when we are going about our daily activities, and especially buildings. We need to build sustainably.
Thank you very much, Cyril. Wishing you the very best.
Thank you.
As you said, it starts tomorrow. What time?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. tomorrow?
Running all the way through to 4 p.m.
4 p.m. and then it continues again the next day on Friday. So that's the Ghana Green Building Summit. You want to be part of it, go to GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com and look for the link and be part of this conversation. Cyril, thanks a lot.
Thank you too for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure. Cyril,
I think I forgot one thing.
Yes, indeed.
My partners will kill me if I don't mention
Yes, your partners.
Do I have your permission?
Yes, you have my permission.
So I mentioned the Embassy of Denmark, IFCH program, Cowbank, they are hosting us, yes. Access Bank, Mikasa, I hope I don't forget any of them. Yeah, I think I mentioned the main ones: IFCH, Cowbank, Access Bank, Mikasa, Embassy of Denmark, as well as Eco Ahmed Solutions, Green Carpets 21 as well. So we thank our sponsors and the partners for making this happen.
You have a good memory. Cyril, thanks. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Have you been tickled by the conversation? Has it just opened your mind up to possibilities? I was in the Western region from Sunday up until yesterday, and I was thinking it's really ironic, rather, that the rural areas tend to be even more greener, and you go into buildings and the place is just so cool and lovely. You don't see a fan anywhere, no AC. It's just natural in the way they build their buildings. Yeah, they got the green thing. We probably need to learn a lot from the people who some people tend to look down on, but they actually are working with a lot of intelligence. And it's great to know that green building should become a big thing in Ghana. And you want to check out that Ghana Green Building Summit. Go online, GhanaGreenBuildingSummit.com, and get on and learn something from 10 a.m. tomorrow and on Friday as well. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast. Lots of conversations coming on capacity building. Yeah, it just means training, all right, for journalists. And yeah, cosmetic fitting. It's a new word designed by Valerie. Cosmetic fitting. You find out what that is. Don't go anywhere. I'm glad to be back. And I know it's a wonderful Wednesday.
Hello, welcome back, guys. It's still GTV Breakfast. That was an insightful conversation with Kaf and his guest. We are joining the rest of the team for Rush Hour. We're going to look at what's happening in town, and we are going to the Children's Park intersection area. We're going to speak to Daryl. Hey, Alan. We call him Alan Daryl. Alan, you're live. What can you report?
Hi, good morning, Val, and welcome to the Children's Park. Welcome to the Children's Park intercession. It's the day after the Memorial Day, and so I guess it's only appropriate to wish all Ghanaians a happy belated or day after Memorial Day. At this intersection, traffic is functional, and so our traffic lights are functional, and so it is moving or flowing very smoothly. If you can see the shots from behind me, or you have the benefits of our eye in the sky, what you have is traffic building up from the 37 military hospital area coming towards the Jubilee House, and then making its way towards this intersection and then into the Accra Central Business District. Perhaps it's only appropriate I bring a few aerial landmarks to bear on, especially those of us who are outside of Accra and do not have a daily benefit of seeing these landmarks. To my right, pointing westward, will be the World Trade Center. Across or adjacent that will be the ADB towers. You have the National Theatre and the general direction of the business district. That will be southwards. And then eastwards, you have the SNIT towers and the Children's Park itself. A look at the Children's Park briefly would bring you to either a broken heart or perhaps some excitement, perhaps if you don't live in Accra. But for those of us who's had the benefit of it in the past, it breaks our heart to see it as it is. Then let's come to traffic and continue from where we broke off to bring you Matt. Traffic, as I mentioned earlier, the traffic lights are all functional, and so there is a discipline on the part of drivers, both trotro and other private commuters. Pedestrians also have their own share of a fair use of the road, and it is also smooth. Traffic coming in from the Graphic or Adabraka area is also really very smooth. There isn't so much in build-up because it, as you imagine, is the day after the Memorial Day, and so there won't be that rush to come to town. Indeed, for those of us who will have to wake up early in order to bring you these, we surely have to be here. Traffic towards the business district, towards the Mövenpick Accra and the Octagon, the AMA building, is itself not bad. It's okay. From what I can see, it's a free-flowing traffic. The hold-up would take you at least 4 minutes and you're out of the traffic hold-up. And so commuters would not have to necessarily hustle one another in order to get through. Going towards the Black Star Square, SNIT area, and also approaching the Accra Sports Stadium, traffic, as you can see, is also smoothly flowing through. Every now and then you have a hawker or two running through the traffic. What we also have is the deplorable state of the traffic light protection. You know, they run cables underground in order to get the traffic lights functional. Our brothers who deal scrap would be blamed for these unfortunate happenings, but that is what it is. The chambers are all opened up, and so if you're a pedestrian and you're not fortunate because of the bad lighting of the area, you may likely end up in these chambers, underground chambers, and that can lead to serious injury to pedestrians. And so we plead with the authorities, especially those who maintain our traffic lights, to, as a matter of urgency, consider recovering these manholes created in order to run wires to power the traffic lights for us at this intersection. This is Rush Hour on #GTV Breakfast. This is the traffic situation at the FUR Sutherland Children's Park intersection. Back to you in the studio, Valerie.
Thank you, Alan. It's still GTV Breakfast. The next location our team will be going to is the Manette Junction. We'll be finding out the traffic situation. We'll be finding out the traffic situation from that area. And if you're driving towards that stretch or away from that stretch, you can send us your comments via our WhatsApp number 05555-61034 and update us on the traffic situation. We'll be going over to Jay shortly. Here on Facebook, our favorite fun, Kojo Asempa Furniture Works is here again, and he says, "Blessed day to all your listeners from Kojo Asempa Furniture Works in Kumasi." We're getting other messages. This message definitely cannot be read on air, and so very soon we'll be switching on to Jay for the feed from Manette Junction. He'll be giving us updates from there. Later on in the show, we'll be having a little sit down with Kafui and the team that went to the Western region. He'll be telling us what he saw on the way. He promised that some Acheke, it's not here yet, but then he says, surprisingly, the road network was really good. He loved the weather and everything. So if you are in that side of the region, since we are still celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in this month, you can send messages, pictures, and generally interact, because this is an interactive show. And we are ready to go to Jay now. Right then, Jay. Jay, you're live. Okay, we are waiting for Jay to get connected to the feed, but we can see him looking all bright on a Wednesday morning. Jay, what can you report? The traffic is...
All right, Valerie, thank you so much. I'd like to welcome you and Kafui back, you from your trip and Kafui as well. It's good to have you back in the studios. I know everything has changed a bit since you left and you came back, and I hope you're adapting to the changes as we have as well. So once again, it is good to see you, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Russia. It's a busy Wednesday morning, especially after the holiday yesterday. And we are here at the Manette Junction bus stop on the Spintex Road, where we are monitoring that situation. So this morning, you can tell traffic is building up behind me, especially for those coming from Casapreco area, using the Coca-Cola runabout, heading towards this side, heading towards Manette Junction itself, heading towards the Accra Mall, going towards Reggie Manuel and all that. From here, they can get to Medina, they can get to they can get to any number of locations, including La Paz and all that. And then the road you're currently seeing is the Ableza Manet Road. That's the Manet area. From here, you can get to Teshi, you can get to Lekma Hospital and such localities as well. And you realize for those using this side to join the main road, this is where the pressure point is. You notice there are lots of people who are coming from this side, pedestrians using this side, headed towards the main road, trying to cross the road. And when we got here initially, we were wondering what exactly was going on because there were lots of people coming. And then we realized there are a number of factories here, and so they are going to work. So we managed to speak to a few of them, and then they told us that's where they are headed to. So you see the junction, this T-junction you're witnessing right now, you realize the police is here helping to direct traffic, and that's what is helping road commuters navigate the traffic in this area. Because this side is such a pressure point, it holds up traffic for a while. And you can tell right in front of me, you can tell traffic is building up for those who are coming from the Regimano area, the Junction of Papaya area, heading towards this side, and they are going towards, they are leaving now, going towards the Coca-Cola runabout. So you can tell traffic is building up for them as well. So this is the situation here at the Manet Junction bus stop. This has been the Rush Hour Report. Back to you, Valerie, and the studios.
Right. Thank you, Jay. And that was our man Jay on the ground from the Manet area. So if you're driving towards the main Spintex Road or you're joining, you have to leave. If you haven't left home now, you have to leave now. And you can still follow us and listen to us via your mobile phone, but that's the traffic situation here. CAF is getting ready to sit down with the gentleman to discuss what's trending on the newspaper and in the headline section. And we'll also still be keeping an eye, but this time around the Tespo stretch, around the Peshi Lagoon area. If CAF is getting ready now, CAF, I'll be coming to you shortly. CAF guests are getting ready. This is an interactive show, so remember to send us your messages via our WhatsApp number, 05555610334. We'll take a quick breather.
GBC Studio One. This is the Breakfast Show.
Hashtag GTV Breakfast, live on all the socials. My name is Kafri Day. Welcome to the wonderful Wednesday edition of GTV Breakfast. Going into the headlines right now, and we are going straight to our colleague Mutala Mohammed, who is a regional correspondent, who has some news that involves some police officers who were interdicted for unprofessional conduct. Mutala, salam alaikum. Good morning. So I'm going to read the press release first, and then we'll get through to Mutala. So this press release is dated 21st September 2021 from the Public Affairs Directorate of the Police Headquarters. Title, headline, 4 police officers interdicted for unprofessional conduct. The police administration has, with immediate effect, interdicted 4 police officers working with the Northern Regional Police Command following the alleged assault of some persons in Tamale in the Northern Region on Tuesday, September 21, 2021. They were assigned to assist NEDCO and VRA officials to arrest some alleged persons involved in illegal power connections. The officers will face a service inquiry subject to the regulations of the Ghana Police Service. Processes have commenced to identify the victims for the necessary medical assessments and assistance. We apologize unconditionally to the affected persons and the general public. Signed, Kwesi Fori, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Acting Director General Public of Affairs of the Ghana Police Service. And I can now speak with Mutala Mohammed, our Northern Regional Correspondent, for some background to this particular story. Mutala, salam alaikum. Good morning to you.
Wa alaikum salam, Kafi, and how are you doing?
I am very well, inshallah. Tell us about this story of these 4 police officers who have been interdicted by the service.
So I was in the community where this happened yesterday. Nima Fong and then Zijung. These are suburbs of the Tamale metropolis. The incident actually happened on Monday, 20th of September, but we got wind of it yesterday after the videos went viral. We met some of the victims who told us that the police officers just came into their house and suddenly started chasing everyone and whipping them. And we met the gentleman who said he had come to buy a satellite dish, parked his motorbike by the roadside, was waiting to be served, and then they pounced on him, pushed his motorbike into the gutter, and broke the mirrors of the motorbike. So he was not even involved. Apparently, the police had come there to arrest some people who were involved in power theft. But suddenly, they started beating everybody around. We met this other lactating mother. She gave birth about 3 weeks ago, who said they chased her into her bedroom, brought her out, and asked her to force open a nearby single room, to which she told them that she had no keys to these rooms. They threatened to push her into their vehicle, a VRA vehicle and the police vehicle that were parked there. They threatened to push her into these vehicles. But the sister came out later and managed to open the single room that was parked there. That was locked. So they entered and found no one inside. They said they were looking for some men who they believed were engaged in power theft. So this is the development we have in the Zijung and then the Nimafong area of the Tamale metropolis. And yesterday was quite refreshing. After social media went agog with the videos, it was refreshing to hear the police responding so swiftly. And we've been following social media and talking to people within Tamale. People are very happy with the developments from the police side.
Mutala, give us some background. How common is power theft in the area that you cover?
I have covered this sort of operations with the VRA more than 3 times in the Tamale metropolis. From the side of the VRA, I'm not an electrician, so I cannot tell that this house is illegally connected. But from the side of the VRA, they keep on telling us that power theft is a very big problem within the Tamale metropolis and other parts of the northern region. In fact, yesterday, somebody even alleged that if they were to check within the police headquarters, they would find people who are illegally connected within the Tamale metropolis. But I am unable to verify this myself because, like I indicated, I'm not an electrician. And
Mutala, we see pictures, we can see video of the police assaulting citizens, some of them being whipped. How common is this? Is this a fair representation of what normally happens when police come by to arrest people in the area that you cover?
Yes, these things happen in Tamale a lot. Last year, just around this period, we had a similar situation where people were even hospitalized. The police entered a community called Changley and brutalized everyone inside. They forced open people's rooms, broke their windows, broke their doors, and beat up people. More than 50 people were arrested and taken to the police station. We met some of them. There was a guy who nearly lost an eye as a result of this brutality. So it is quite common in the northern region.
And in the past, were there any implications? Were there any ramifications? Were police officers interdicted, as is the case now?
Not at all. Not at all. So this is why we're saying that this is quite a refreshing news, because even last year, we had worse situations than what we are experiencing this time around. But they only said they were investigating. Till date, nobody has heard about the results of that investigation.
We thank you very much. Murtala Issa is our Northern Regional Correspondent, giving us some background to this story. 4 officers interdicted for assaulting members of the public, and the police have reacted very swiftly, and there appears to be some commendation for the swiftness of the police action. We'll follow this and give details when they occur. Bringing us straight into the studio for a conversation with Dr. Kwabena Kokofu, who is the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, used to serve on the Lands and Forestry Committee when he was MP for Bantama back in the day. He's been joined by Ms. Daniel Kwesi Ashama, former MP for Buem, who used to serve on the Communications and Government Assurance Committees, to name but a few. He used to represent people of Buem. Gentlemen, both ex-MPs, but currently my panelists here. Good morning, welcome to all of you. We're going to start with your comments, brief comments on the swiftness, first of all, the activities of the police, the conduct that we saw on the video, and then the response by the authorities. Dr. Kokofu, I want to start with you first.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
Morning, sir.
And then my colleague.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So, but you look so nice, so handsome and healthy.
But you know the secret.
Yes, under President Akufo-Addo. Yes, that's the secret.
No, that is not the secret.
And under the good government of
President Akufo-Addo.
Yes, we all watched the video.
Yes.
It's not the best. No. The police are supposed to have training to the extent that handling of civilians, their ethics and what to do and what not to do. There might be a castrant once, there might be some form of resistance or anything, but at worst of it, the police is expected to use reasonable minimum force or reasonable force in the actions. But then it happened. And the good news is the police administration did not sleep over once the news got to them. And it tells all of us, including our brothers and sisters in the police service, that the days they can do anything and have their way are over. The police structure, the discipline has come to stay. And the IGP and his other lieutenants are very much ready to combat all kinds of indiscipline within their forces. That also goes out to us, the public, that the respect for the crown, the respect for officialdom and authority must be adhered to. We must be ready and prepared to work closely with the security agencies. They are there for us, for property and lives. If in the line of their duties or responsibilities, we refuse to cooperate with them in their normal, lawful duties, we incur some of these unfortunate incidents, and it does not go well for all of us.
So you commend the swiftness of the police in dealing with their own?
Yes, and I'm happy, the residents too are very happy that the police have taken such bold steps, trying to clean up their own system.
Awesome.
And this is not going to be an idea wonder, let me assure you. The administration is very, very, very apt to the task of cleaning the police service, to have the few bad nuts within that are continuously tarnishing the image of the police. They would like to win them off.
Okay.
So they should be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout, says Dr. Kokofo. I want to bring in Mr. Ashama. Commendable. And he says he knows it will not be a 9-day wonder. Do you share the same optimism as your co-panelists?
Yes, but before them, I say good morning to our viewers. Actually, this is what we could describe as the system is working. You get me right. So, many times when we from the other side of the political divide speaks, they say, oh, you are doing politics, you are doing politics. We said the previous IGP was no good. People say, oh, you talk too much. Now, this is the system that is working. IGP Dampari is in Accra, isn't it? The actions took place in the northern region, isn't it? It means he directs his commanders all in the field that when such things happen, you must act so that we regain the public confidence. That is what we are seeing. It's not about talking. And I commend him for that. This is what we are talking about always. And like my brother said, it should not be a 9-day wonder. Because we politicians, we see things and sometimes ahead of time. Because as he's performing now, we are praising him. Tomorrow, excuse me to say, when it gets to election time and we say he should act and he didn't act, my brothers will tell us, but he was acting, this is the very person you are praising today, why are you saying he's not doing this? So we are also looking at him with a small different eye, that he should continue. We give that support that he should continue.
You have confidence in him so far?
Oh, yes. No doubt at all.
What do you think?
This is the way things should be.
What do you think will be his greatest challenge in the days to come?
When the public refuse to give him the support, that will be his challenge. Because police people can work when they have information. And so if you refuse to give the information, then like the person who took this video decided not to send it viral. Nobody will know that some people have been beaten or whipped in a community in Tamale. So we as public must give the police that information for the powers that be to act. I commend him on that.
Okay.
But if I want to add something, the time I was a teacher, you know, as a teacher, you set a question and people could not work it out. Then you come to the classroom and take a cane. They're whipping. You, the police, has forgotten that. Sorry, the teacher have forgotten that the questions you set on the board are too difficult. We need to ask ourselves, why are these rampant power thefts in this country? Ask yourself, if the tariffs were so low to meet everybody's, like Honorable Kendapa would say during, I think, Rollins time, affordability. If it is affordable, will such things be happening as they are reporting everywhere?
So your theory is that power theft is happening because the tariffs are too high?
Even if they have to do the survey in Accra here, it is here. And we have to listen to these people. We are saying that the taxes on our utility services are too high because the people cannot afford. What must the government do? The government must reduce its taxes that it has fixed into this so that the people will get a respite. Do you get me right? So once we are looking at the police side, now the responsibility is on the government.
But is it not also that people feel they can get away with criminal activity? They want free power. They want power without paying for it. And so this is what they'll do.
Every Ghanaian knows that the power is generated somewhere. Even the pylons, the cables, the poles that brought that power to you, they know about it. And the police or the government have to have a survey to understand the plight of the people today as far as the utility services are concerned.
Okay, so let me put that question to those watching. What is the cause of rampant power theft? Why are people stealing power from NEDCO and from ECG? I just want to know. I'm going to give you possible answers. Why do you think people are stealing power? And hashtag GTV breakfast across all our socials. Why do you think people in this country, beautiful country of Ghana, are stealing power? No possible answers. Give me your answers. I want to know. 055-556-1034. WhatsApp.
To close up with it, yes, I will agree with you too.
Yes.
This may be one. My assessment may be one of the reasons.
Yes, that's why I didn't give possible answers.
Some people too are naturally people of those such.
They will steal. Even if the thing is free. You want to do TV breakfast? Let's still stay with the police because they are on an arresting spree, and this one has to do with MMDCE nominations. So I'm going to give you a quiz right now. What is MMDC? What does it stand for? MMDCE. Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives. 12 people have been arrested in Tripoli, and they are, according to the Ghanaian Times, suspected to be supporters of the new patriotic party in the Tripoli district, taking part in the violence that erupted in Tripoli following the nomination of Madam Zuweraru Madanashiru as the district chief executive for the area. Why should these things be happening, Dr. Kokofu? President, in his own wisdom, picks people to represent him in the municipalities, the metropolitan areas, and districts. Names came out on Sunday, and now people are up in arms protesting the decision of the president. Does it make sense to you?
Not at all. Does not, and it will never be. The unfortunate thing is we've been living with such kinds of I don't know whether it is insubordination or whatever.
Let me read the press release,
yes,
so that you can get more background and you can respond to it. So this was yesterday was quite a busy day for the person writing press releases because
the
police. 21st September 2021. 12 arrested over violent protests at Tripoli. An intelligence-led operation on Tuesday, dawn, September 21, at the Tripoli in the northeast region led to the arrest of 12 persons for allegedly destroying some private properties and assaulting some persons at Tripoli 2 days ago. Their violent act is believed to have been triggered by the announcement of a new district chief executive for the area. Suspects are Kwabena Manting, 43, Idrisu Abdul Rahman, 42, Sumaila Ibrahim, 16, Kasim Abdulaziz, 28, Kasim Latif, 65, Ibrahim Awufo, 23. The others are Osman Yusuf, 36, Mohammed Abdul Latif, 29, Fusaini Bawa, 30, Kwame Mahmoud, 31, Bashiru Ayabli, 29, and Arimi Yao, 22. As stated earlier, the police shall arrest and prosecute anyone who breaks the law in protest of the publication of the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives list. We will also continue to pursue and investigate all criminal conduct and deal decisively with those involved. We want to take this opportunity to commend and celebrate the Northeast Regional Police Commander, DCOP Mr. Moses Ali Bechin, and his officers for their commitment and professionalism. Kwesi Ufuri, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Acting Director General, Public Affairs, signed yesterday, 21st September 2021. For me, what strikes me is the age range. You have a 16-year-old in this operation, and then you have somebody who should be playing with his grandchildren, 65.
Yes.
And now they are all caught in this drag net.
Yes, you see, initially you were wondering who had been releasing the press release. So you got a man, right? Yes, a very, very disciplined police officer. I was on the point that you have absolutely no business destroying property or trying to, just private or public. You have no business simply because you do not agree with the president's nominee. You can protest. You can do all that. You can verbally, you can write, you can do everything to petition and protest. But to go to the extent of vandalization is criminal. Matters of this, the police are treating it as criminal offenses. It has nothing to do with being a party member or anything. Yes, you are a party member. You require that, or you wish that your favorite would have been picked. It did not happen. It does not allow you to enter into criminal action. This is purely criminal action. To destroy a property, somebody's property,
And they beat up the constituency chairman.
I'm coming there.
Severe beating.
Yes, that is assault. Serious one. It's an offense. That is punishable by the court of law. So they should be made to face the full rigors of the law.
It's as simple as that.
As simple as that. But the point is, he who or she who that they are acting for and on your behalf, be wary and be careful. Those who did not get the nod, either by themselves, they are organizing these things, or people are organizing in their name. They should be very, very careful. They should be able to tell these guys, you are not doing me any good, but rather harm. How would you want these things to be done in your name? Today is somebody's turn. Tomorrow may be your turn. So why at all cost? And indeed, this is a service situation. You go in there, you want to go and serve. And the man has his cocoa farm. And you go in and say, please, I want to come and help you to weed the farm. He said, no, please keep your peace. Let Kafui do it this time round. Come and weed. The next time round, I may call you in. Then you become angry. If truly it is for service, if truly the intent and the purpose why you wanted that position is to come and serve the people, you've been asked to hold on. And this becomes something else.
But now who caused some, as we say in Ghana? Correct me if I'm wrong, but was the voting of MMDCEs into power not a campaign promise of the APP?
It was, and it has ever remained.
So why haven't you fixed it?
That's the point. That's where we are. That's where we are. And we're in this country. When the president championed this cause and asked that we go into referendum, at the last hour, our colleagues in Parliament, the NDC group in Parliament, dished the whole nation on this one.
Were your arguments not sweet enough to convince them?
But well, I mean, did you need...
It was your promise.
No, did you need, or do you need, as we sit here, do we need to be convinced again and again and again that the best way to go is to get these DCs and MCs elected?
Your party was able to push through free SHS. Why couldn't you have pushed through voting for MMDCs?
Free HS did not require a constitutional amendment. It did not. It's a policy.
So the NDC are the cause of Ghanaians not voting for the MMDCs?
Yes, clearly. And you know, this is no secret. It's an open, it's an open thing.
Let me put the question to Mr. Ashama. You let Ghanaians down by not supporting the party, the MPP, to draw a line under this unnecessary brouhaha when it comes to just electing a mayor or a DCE or an MCE. You let the country down by not going along with them for political reasons. How do you respond?
Thank you. Actually, election of the MDCs is something that both sides of the House cherish, and we pledge to do that.
So what happened?
If the MPP was unable to do it, when NDC comes, I am very, very sure we will do it.
But why did it
the
happen?
Reason, no, I'm coming with the reason.
When you both were...
You see, we in the minority then, with 106 members of parliament, as against 169 of the MPP side, you realize that what we did was that the MPP government, led by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, tried to lump the assembly member elections on a partisan basis to the MMDCs. Then we told him, please, we will laugh. We all laugh that the MMDCs are voted for. So decouple them.
Take away assemblies from MMDCs.
Yes, because we will never agree that assemblymen should be partisan. That was our stand. So if we say so, why didn't the government, the MPP government, decouple the two and allow us to vote for the what? The MMDCs? We said it. It was on the floor. We said it so.
So is that the reason why
that
you
is
did
the
not
reason
give them your
because
support?
we said we'll insist, resist any attempt to make assemblymen partisan. But if we're to vote for that particular a memo that was brought, then it means both of them will be elected.
Honorable Ashama, yes. When you go to your former constituency or your constituency, Buem, which you previously represented, couldn't you tell which of the assemblymen had NDC colors and MPP colors?
But it is not lawful.
Okay.
You cannot take that to the law court. The judge will ask whether it is in the constitution. We will know, we can tell. But it is not legal. That legality is what we refuse to support, that the assemblymen should be voted.
Okay, so that was the fly in the ointment that prevented
that was what
the MMDC
killed their proposal. It is not us.
It's not you.
It is not the NDC.
So if they are taking that out, if they had decoupled it, you would have voted for it.
We would have voted for it. Who campaign? Just a minute. I have been campaigning for that. Because you know why?
Tell me.
When you go to the constituency, the people are more focused on the MP than the district chief executive. District chief executive is appointed by the president. Now, some of them didn't even go around the communities before their 4-year term ends. But we as members of parliament, because you need vote, every corner, even if there are 2 people in that village, you have to go.
So why don't you use agreement,
we told them so.
For assembly, because then if you vote the assemblyman has to go throughout the whole community.
The reason why we said the assemblymen should not be partisan, even if you belong and you will know you vote, is that in a community where we have chiefs and elders, and I become an NDC assemblyman, and my father is who is a chief of the community, is an APP person or chief, then you know that from the word go, the community is divided.
Is that a sound argument? Because you were an MP voted on the ticket of the NDC.
No, I'm talking about
no, I just want to make a parallel agreement.
Yes.
You were a parallel argument. You were an MP voted on the ticket of the NDC.
Yes.
But the moment you were voted in, did you discriminate against the MPP
you are
members?
For the whole constituency.
Exactly. So the same thing. So an assemblyman is voted, and then when he's voted in on whatever ticket, then he becomes the assemblyman for the whole area, electoral area.
The truth of the matter is that Ghanaians and the people who are living in various communities have accepted our view. Why did they accept an MPP withdrew?
Okay, before you come in, let's just get some.
There
are some messages on this particular topic, and
but you have to allow me to do justice to
the justice will be done. You don't have to frown.
Sometimes incompetence and lack of money.
Thelma, what are the people of Ghana saying about what they're discussing so far?
They are following your interesting conversations very, very keenly. A few of the messages we have coming in. Hello, good morning. Mohammed Shafi from Kaswa. I'm an MPP foot soldier, but must the youth be shouting, we like this to be our MCE. It's all about Noko feel. They are not fighting for the party, but rather the boss. We know that, so they should give us a break. So that's the opinion of Mohammed Shafiu from Kaswa. Let's see what else someone else. This is my first time watching the breakfast show, and I must say this is the real edutainment that Ghanaians need. Thank you from Tony Gavuzini, Awudome Estate, Accra. Thank you, Tony, for sending that message to us. Here's one. Good morning, Kafi. Why is there a program dubbed Nane Asi? My ever is bad, so forgive me. Which is usually hosted by Bright Heto and Mawulolo Acha at 8 p.m. on Monday. No more on Ghana Radio. Well, Kafi, do you have an answer to that? Yes. And that's from Philip from North Legon. Philip will find the answer that you need. Good morning. Kudos to the team. This is a horticulturist. So you would like to be interviewed on the see? People are marketing themselves. So you'll be there, don't watch the show. So I guess this is related to keep an eye. Please, from America House to Ajurigano, traffic light is not working getting to 4 years ago. Sometimes it's making heavy traffic. I'm guessing it's causing heavy traffic. I am Emmanuel from Medina. So another person watching the breakfast show, thanks for watching us. Here's one. Kaf, I like your Santo. Kaf, do you have Santo on?
Yes.
Okay.
Semi-Santo. It's a semi-Santo.
Okay, here's one. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. Power theft, like other crimes, won't stop but can be reduced. The main cause of power theft is that these criminals do not want to pay for power like we are all doing. We all know power is not cheap, but if all citizens want free power, how do we expect the country or ECG to grow? But the actions of the police in this case is excessive. Some of us are waiting for the day the police will brutalize us again and instantly we would retaliate. Don't do that. Don't do that. Extreme provocation will set us free as we know the law now. Have a good day, Kafui.
Okay.
CKM Kaswa Millennium. Don't attack the police. The police are friends. Here's one. Good morning. I think people are stealing power because the tariffs are too much, and even to get a meter from ECG, you have to pay 700 to 800 Ghana cedis. Stephen from Esiama Elembele district. Stephen, thank you. Good morning. The reason why there are illegal power in Ghana is because the tariff is too much, especially the Nuru meters. I don't know what Nuru meters is, but thank you for sending that to us, Ibrahim Abeka. So yes, the conversations following your interactions very, very keenly. So guys, this is our Facebook page. When you open, you type Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. This is the interface that you should expect to see. I'm going to try and see if the headlines has garnered any comments, and we break it into little segments to make it easier for you to watch, so that you don't have to watch a 4.5 hours if you don't want to, you know, because we love you. So every segment has its own, like a sort of a mini stream. So I will find the headlines and then I'll let you know what people are saying about that. There were some earlier comments when we started. Vreni Jacko, good morning, my people. Good morning, my neighbors. Ready to listen and watch your lovely styles. Good morning, live. Good morning, my favorite. Best morning show in Ghana. No doubt about this. Yesterday, I was with Kafui Day at Ingloflo, watching you live all the way from Elubu border in the Jomoro municipality of the Western region. Charlie, Kafui went and chilled in Western. Good morning. So many. You can also send your comments and let's get interactive on our screens and we'll read your comments out loud. You're still watching GTV Breakfast, and Kaf and the team are seated looking at all the stories that made it to the headlines, and I am here monitoring your comments across our social media handles.
Okay, thank you very much, T for Thelma. And shortly we'll talk about one man who has over 600 ATM cards. He's being probed. But before that, let's just wrap up on the 12 arrested in Chirponi, disturbances following these MMDCE nominations.
Yes.
He says that you people, you wanted to put everything together. You're trying to sneak the election of assemblymen, and they said, no way, red light for you.
Yeah, you see, let me go a little bit back to the electricity situation. My colleague put out something out there which is not fair enough for the system to look at. We still know, and he knows, that the state, the government is still subsidizing electricity prices in this country. We are not paying for the full cost. The full economic cost we are not paying. And indeed, they themselves have advocated that we should relieve the state out of this subsidization. So for you to say that it is too expensive, it's quite disingenuous.
Maybe he wants a more deeper
No, it is not. But Ghanaians do prefer to pay something a bit higher and have continuous, sustainable electric power to run their affairs and then the economy. This is far better than being in that 4 years of doom so, where you have interrupted power supply and all that. Crime is crime.
Crime is crime.
They've stolen power. If you steal this water, it doesn't matter whether you are thirsty or not.
We should catch you.
Yes, the law will deal with you.
Okay.
So we must look at it from the angle of criminality. It's a crime. It's a theft.
Your final point on MMDCs.
The MMDCs. You see how my brother struggles so much to defend their cause. Linking up the assembly's elections and all. And you did quite very well. Assembly member, at that level, everybody knows that he's an NDC or NPP. Everybody knows.
But he also reminded you that by law, they are supposed to be non-partisan.
So what we sought to do is to legalize that. Because we've been living with it, and he agreed.
Like how they wanted to legalize Okada and you didn't like it.
No, Okada Okada, they never attempted to legalize Okada.
They didn't?
When they were in government?
No, they wanted to. If they had won the election in 2020, they would have legalized it.
Oh, but you see, that is if. We are talking about, that is if.
We're talking about now, right?
Yes, we're talking about now. You see,
it's the intent that makes everything. You know that. You're a lawyer. Intent is important. Why do you want to?
The actus rules never followed. The intent must
be followed by action. Okay,
then a criminal intent would have been established.
All right.
But you see, everybody knows, and we are living with it. And let us legalize it.
Okay.
The constitutional requirement. This one is an entrenched provision that the selection or the president nominating MMDCs. These are entrenched.
So a referendum should be
needed a referendum to do that.
Didn't happen.
And they agreed in principle. Only for political expedition that at the last minute they had to ditch the people of Ghana in. So they thought they were doing the government, they were doing NPP colleagues in parliament. Eventually, Ghanaians have suffered it. And this hooliganism on the onset of selection of MMDCs has been living with us for quite a long time. You remember 2009, when the late President, Professor Mills, may his soul rest in peace, when he assumed office, he was compelled to keep these appointees, the MMDCs that President Kufuor then had appointed them. He was compelled to keep them in office almost about 6 months before he did his own. And then these were up in arms. Simple reason was the president then was so pressurized by party apparatchiks and these kind of threats of hooliganism and violence that he had to sit back and then allow those things to happen. So this is about the time, as a nation, we must take a decision
and go back to the voting.
And go back to the books, and then at this point, your assemblyman, you want to run for assemblyman?
No, chief.
Chief executive. Yes. So
all right. All right, great. So those are the comments on. You wanted to say something?
No, I have to. I've not commented on this.
No, briefly.
Okay. Oh, then today you have.
Now, speak.
Let my brother. If you campaign on the promise that there's doom so, and the tariffs are too high, and they brought you to power, what do you expect the people to get from you? They need you to show your competence. And so if the tariffs are still high today, and the government taxes are also inside, you should go and
the lights are on.
Now, about the MMDC,
yes,
you see, I don't have time, or we don't have time.
We don't have time.
The truth of the matter, if those who have the MMDCs are up in arms that the right person is not chosen, then what about the SAL people who didn't even have one? You see the difference?
Santro Kofi,
Lipe, Lolobi,
and
Akpafu. How they feel? They've lost MP and they don't have DCE. Do you get it right? Now, the reason why these people were fighting is that some of them have seen the MMDCs as their what? Saviors in terms of education, in terms of learning trade. And so some people align themselves. Look at a 16-year-old person.
I can't even believe it.
Now, we pay school fees. We pay school fees.
Who you and who?
District chief executives and MPs pay school fees for the world. Now, maybe the father or maybe that district chief executive that is saying, I am not condoning what has happened at all. That person is saying that, oh, if this person is reinstated, I will have maybe my education or this and that. No, at that particular point, that 16-year-old boy will not be able to think that, oh, it is not right to take the arms or anything to vandalize property. So these are some of spontaneous actions that may come out from people.
And it is wrong.
So,
and
yes, I said it is wrong.
And
I didn't say it is correct. But these are some of the things. But the question is that why should the government delay so for a long time? If you talk about Atamus, that is where he earned his name as Brehini. Because when President Kufuor came, what did he do? He sacked all the NDC district chief president. Do you think Atamus could not do that? Do you think Atamis could not ask the district coordinating directors to be managing so the MPP DCs will leave? No, but he said
that time NDC was already. Please don't help him.
No, I'm helping him.
No, he doesn't need your help.
You see, so after Rawlings left the scene, President Kufuor sacked the people in no time. Then Atamis said, no, I will not be like that. We are ordinance. And that is where he started earning his name as Sundrehini. You see, that is why the NDC people were forcing at times that, no, sack the people, the same thing who fought it to the Rollins appointed MMDCs. But he said, you will not do that. So if you want to turn the thing, he used a human face to know that we are all Ghanaians.
What was their face? What was their face?
Their face, shall I call it, okay, I will not say anything that will... They didn't use inanimate face. No. So coming to this particular situation, you see, it is incompetence that is at play. Right now, I am telling you, government don't have money. I am telling you. Why am I saying this? As a member of 7th Parliament, my 4th quarter common fund has not been paid. As I'm sitting down here.
You?
Yes, the money is not for me.
Okay.
But you know,
it hasn't come to you.
7th Parliament, they have not paid.
Is it supposed to come to you?
I said, no, it is not mine, but I have asked people to do some 1 and 2 jobs that the assembly have to use that money to pay them.
Who is it the current MP who will now access that money?
Yes, he can use it.
It doesn't come.
No, wait. I leave a handy overnote. Let the listener listen to while it operates. So in the 7th Parliament, 4th quarter common fund has not been paid. They jump and paid 8th Parliament 1st quarter. Is that competence? This is a government of contradiction. And even look at the list. If I want to show you, I will show you the list that they used to declare the even the coat of arms have turned upside down and the president signed. So even in the president's office, there are incompetent secretaries working there. He has signed the coat of arms. You open the list of MMDCs, you will see some of the coat of arms, the head is down, some are up, and he signed. This is how we are being managed today by incompetence. You see, when you want the practicality of incompetence, go to NPP, you see it. They talk in abstract. NDC is like this, NDC is like that, in abstract. If you want to see incompetence in NPP, go to International Conference Center and see what happened today. The graduates want to be employed. You will see it physically. That the jobs are not there.
How did we get from MMDCs to graduate unemployment?
No, I'm talking about incompetence that they are practicing unleashing on us. Okay. That is what we are talking about. You see the practicality of incompetence.
I need to go and check that upside down coat of arms.
It is here. I will show you. If you want me. It is here. Yeah, I counted. You see, the first brought 20. You see, 21 list. You wait. 21 list. Out of 21, 17 turned upside down. And 4, so they out of 21, they passed for only 4.
All right, gentlemen.
Then the president used the green pen to sign.
The green pen.
Yes, the incompetence is everywhere.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Go to a green ministry, it is there.
Thank you.
The point is, you come with your own questions and you answer.
I am telling you the incompetence.
But the point is that I am going to Valerie to cool down the pace for me, little woman. Yes. So the little woman is going to cool the pace down for us.
For music.
Yes.
I think both of us will dance.
Yeah, you will dance. Yes. And then I'm talking to Valerie now. Valerie has something for me. She's keeping an eye on a few issues while I keep an eye on the two honorables here. Valerie, take it away.
Righties. Right, so it's still GTV Breakfast, and how we do every day. We give you a cocktail of everything breakfast. We're keeping an eye, but this time we are going to the Peishi Lagoon and the Texpo Stretch area. We are going back to Alan. Alan is standing by. We're going back to Alan for him to give us updates on happenings on the Peishi Lagoon area. Alan? Okay, so before we go to Alan, he's getting ready. So encroachers along the Peishi Lagoon at near Accra, they were served a warning notice to vacate the area by close of this month or have their properties demolished. This is to pave way for the redevelopment of the area into a recreational center. The notice was served by a joint team from the La Dadeko-Topon Municipal Assembly and the Lejukuku Municipal Assembly. It was upon a directive from the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council as part of the Let's Make Accra Work initiative. Okay, Alan, what's up? What's happening? Tell us what's happening.
Hi to Valerie. Sorry for that earlier technical glitch. Well, welcome to welcome to the Peishi Lagoon. This lagoon is the boundary between La to my right and Teshi to my left. And so when you mentioned Ladma or Ladade Kotopon, and then the Peshin area or Lejokuku, immediately those who are familiar with this area would know exactly what you're talking about. Valerie, this Peshin Lagoon is one of about 5 lagoons in the Greater Accra region, which helps carry water from hinterland when it rains all the way into the sea to protect those of us who live inland from our homes getting flooded. Unfortunately, human activities are making these rivers and their immense contribution to our own good very, very difficult. Now, let me take you a few weeks back to Glefe, which is one of the rivers, the Chemu River or Chemu Lagoon in the Dansuman area of the Greater Accra region. And then when you move up, you come towards the Kole, which is also in the heart of the, closer to the business district, the Kole Lagoon around the Kole Gono area. And then you also have the Osu Klote, which also forms the boundary between Osu and La. And then you have the Peshin Lagoon, which forms the boundary between La and then Teshi. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, human activities are making these lagoons, which would otherwise help a great deal, very difficult. You every now and then will find you have so much filth gathered along the banks of the lagoons and impedes the free flow of water into the sea. And this creates a knock-on effect upstream, and then you have water overflowing into people's homes, thereby getting the homes flooded. Our focus at this Peshin Lagoon this morning is to critically ask the question of these 2 municipal assemblies, the Lejokuku and then the Ladma, Ladade Kotopon. Behind me, if you, as you warned our viewers earlier, there is slowly a gathering and a collection of rubbish. Nobody knows where these have come from, but they are gathering, and slowly they will find their way into the lagoon and end up in the sea. This is not only impeding the free flow or going to impede the free flow of the water into the sea, but it also creates a certain environmental problem and a health hazard to people who live around here. Attempts have been made to speak to a few people, but obviously for whatever reason nobody would want to grant an interview, especially knowing that eventually they're going to be pulled up on why they granted such interviews. We're going to pan around a bit and follow the lagoon as it goes into the sea, and you would understand clearly what I am talking about. If these rubbish, as you can see, eventually finds their way into the lagoon, the free flow you see into the sea will be impeded, and it won't be a free flow anymore. What will happen is there will be a bottleneck upstream, and this will surely or eventually cause an overflow, which would then flood people's homes when the rains come. It is therefore an appeal somehow that these 2 municipal assemblies, the Lejokuku and then the Ladade Kotopon municipal assemblies, would do everything in their power to ensure that these rubbish, as they're collected along the banks of the Peshin River, will not find their way into the lagoon, which will create, as I mentioned earlier on, a tightening of the free flow and a bottleneck upstream, which will eventually flood people's homes. It is becoming one too many for us to look on and have these things happen. And then when the unfortunate happens, we find NADMO running all over the place trying to bring a certain respite to people whose homes are underwater or whose homes have been flooded by the rains when it had eventually come. This is the situation at the banks of the Peshin Lagoon here in the Greater Accra region. Again, let me reiterate, the Peshin Lagoon is the natural boundary between La to the left. If you're coming in from Osu heading towards Tema, you'd hit La before you get to Teshi. So La to my left and then Teshi to my right. And on the both sides, you have the Ladade Kotopon Municipal Assembly and the Lejokuku Krowo, which forms part of the Teshi area, whose job it is to ensure on whichever side rubbish is collected, this is taken care of so that it does not find its way into the sea. This has been Keep an Eye at the Peshi Lagoon, coming to you live on hashtag GTV Breakfast. Back to you in the studio, Valerie.
Well, before we take over the reins completely, for the purposes of our viewers who do not live in Accra and do not know where the Peshi Lagoon is situated, are there landmarks around that maybe when they come to Accra, they know that, oh, this was where Alan reported from? So if there are any landmarks, you could mention them so that for the purposes of our viewers who are not in Accra and do not know exactly.
So if you're coming from, say, you're traveling, sure. So if you're traveling from Accra, towards Tema and you're using the beach road, you would first of all meet the La Palm and then the Labadi Beach hotels, and then when you cross the bridge, which then takes you into Teshi, you would find the Teshi shooting range to my right, and then the military training school, and then the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping International Center to your left. A very brief historical, say, background to the Teshi shooting range. You will recall some years ago in the heat of various coups in Ghana, some military men were paraded or arraigned by these shooting range and were executed. I would not mention no names just to save the families a bit of the pain as it is in the circumstance. But the landmarks here will be the Labadi Beach and the La Palm Royal Beach hotels, and then the Teshi military range.
Right. Thank you, Alan, for those coordinates. That was our guy on the ground, Alan Darrell. He came to us from the Peshi Lagoon area, and from what you saw, we saw the filth gathering up and piling up. So, to the authorities and the powers that be, over to you. We'll take a quick break.
Okay, so there's no break for me. I'm here with my guests, Honorable Kokofu and Honorable Ashama. We will be wrapping this conversation briefly, but now that we've cooled down, I just wanted a couple of your comments on some of the big stories in the news. So, things the country happened yesterday in Takoradi. Went off without incident largely. Are you happy that these demonstrations are going on, Dr. Kokofu?
They fixed the country.
Yes.
Yes, why not? It's the right of the citizenry to demonstrate peacefully,
yes,
without infringing on the laws of the country. And the call to fix the country, I do not find anything new in there. Because the government is already fixing, the president is fixing the country.
Okay.
You went out there, you saw some of the roads being done.
Yeah.
You saw Takoradi Township and other areas, and you were told that there's going to be a petroleum hub within that enclave, where getting to about $30 billion private-led investment is coming up, where you will put value to our natural resource called the oil and gas. You were told, and you know that story. So it's coming up strongly. And we at Environmental Protection Agency, having received an application from the Ministry of Energy, have worked on, and we are currently doing what we call strategic environment assessment for the whole area for that thing to take off. So where they went to do the fix the country, it is being fixed clearly, Western region. And I can assure you that the regional minister, Dr. Kobi, you know Kobi, our good friend, he was your friend also when you were in Parliament, yes. He's leading the pack to reorientate the people, the development of the people, and the infrastructure development.
So the fixing is happening.
The background, did you get to the background?
No, I didn't. I went through all the way to Nzulezo.
Oh, you should have, when we got to Takoradi, you should have
entered the background area.
Yes, background interchange and all that. And then the TTU, Takoradi Technical University, is partnering with Petroleum Commission to train locally
So things are happening.
Things are happening.
All right.
Seriously.
All right.
And I'm happy you saw it.
Okay.
And you went with which of your ladies?
I went alone. The ladies were back here.
You went alone?
Yes.
And you see how happy you were?
Yes, I was.
When you got there. So you should have told them that
Mr. Sharma, Fix the Country, your thoughts as we wrap up?
Yeah, thank you very much. It must continue.
Okay.
And
the fixing must continue?
Yeah.
The
demonstrations must continue.
While the fixing also continues.
We have lost money. The Fix the Country issue is about the money we have lost. We are in the second term of the MPP government. And their first term, we lost close to 210. We took loans, 210 billion.
Cedis or dollars?
Cedis. Do you get me right? Because he knows very well that they came after Mahama left. We have 122 billion. Today, go and check.
What is it?
At the end of the year, it is 333.
Because
and it's wait.
Because we are paying for the interest.
Please.
Of that loans you left.
Didn't Mahama pay for interest? I was in Parliament.
Your legacy loans.
Please. I was in Parliament when Setepe went for a loan to pay for President Kufuor's Eurobond. At the same time, Mahama built UGMC. At the same time, we had Temahabo. At the same time, we have Circle Interchange. He was paying the loans along. Did you hear that they say we have defaulted during Mahama time? But the money, the loans he has taken is not up to even 70 billion Ghana cedis. And we have this, and loans were paid. So this Fix the Country stems from the fact that in the first term, we've taken about, if not 210, because we've added this year, we've taken about, let's say, 180 billion loan.
Okay.
Where are the projects? So if you're not running, what is going to happen is that they are going to topple it up again with more loans. So
we've paid
your children and my children.
Electricity. It is not for anything that the electricity is on.
Yes, thank you. We put the lights on.
Because we were under doomsday because you couldn't find money.
I respect him, but the viewers should know that he has taken my time.
Yes, let me take it because
all right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Dr. Kwabena Kokofu is the executive director of the EPA, and Daniel Kwesi Ashiama is a former MP for Boem. And
don't suffer too much.
and I get Valerie right now. Your microphones are off. Valerie is on right now.
Right, guys. Silence in studio, CAF. Right, guys. We are still keeping an eye on happenings in the capital city, Accra. We're going to my colleague Jay, who is in Sakumono and its environs, and he's monitoring traffic situation. Jay, you're alive, Jay. Where about in Sakumono are you?
All right, well, thank you very much. Good morning once again. It's hashtag GTV Breakfast. And this morning we are keeping an eye here at the Sakmono Road. This road links the Sakmono Broadway itself to Sakmono Village. So behind me there are some popular landmarks. There's Organizer, and then just behind me you have the Jotafa Pharmacy, and in front of me is the Sakmono Village itself. So that's the area itself, and this morning we're here to monitor the situation of the road. Residents here have been complaining for a while now about the nature of the road, and last week we brought them a story about a 70 roundabout where we ran into the engineer who also happens to be working on this side of the road. So this morning we'd like to speak with him so he can give us, if possible, a timeline as to how soon residents can expect some relief owing to the bad nature of the road. So this morning I have with me Mr. Frank Sichi Amoyao. He's a project coordinator. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Good morning.
Okay. So, sir, tell us once again what is happening here presently. I understand for a while this area was, you guys, I don't know how to explain it. You use your technical terms to tell us what exactly is happening. Yes, thank you.
Actually, okay, thank you. This is a company working on this road is a Seal and Tar Limited. Okay. It's a project, a rehabilitation project for Tema West municipality, and it's about 8 kilometers road at selected areas. Actually, we've done a lot of asphaltic work all over, but this particular place is a very sensitive area. It demands a lot of work. From the village, Sakmono village, all the way to the estate junction, need to be cut and stabilized material being filled back the road. The road is so bad that there are some places we need even to reconstruct new drains. So it has been redesigned that 0.6 drains has to be, we have to change it to 0.9 drain so that the water will not be on the road. As you can see,
is that what we are experiencing right now at the moment as a result of the drains?
Yes, exactly that's what we are experiencing over there. It's even choked because the gradient, the way it's supposed to flow, I mean, the drain was done quite a long time. So we are redoing, we are reconstructing a 900-meter drain to join the old drain over there. We've cut 300 millimeters off, and we are filling back with a 900 with a stabilized material to stand the road. As you can see, they are doing the surveying work, and today we are starting excavation work over here. At the same time, in the village, we have repaired some of the drains, and we have to top up to get to the level that it has to be. Then we lay caps. So this week, that top-up work will be done about 1 kilometer from the village, that's the beach road, right down to this particular junction. Okay. Whilst we tackle this area with the drains, because the drain has to go about 200 meters away from here, so that we will not encounter this particular problem.
Okay. You are speaking to us, and from the way you are talking, it looks like within a short possible time you'll be done. Is that what the situation is currently? Because residents here are waiting for that relief because they've been complaining for a while.
Actually, as I was saying, today we are starting excavation work at this particular area. At the same time that we did at Shalom Sport runabout, that is Committee 17, the runabout. We have done portion of the drain that we can level, because there's even a new design at that place, because it also has the same difficulty and a problem like this particular place. So for the drain work, within a space period of about 2-3 weeks, you see some good drains over here. Okay. Yeah, whilst we start with this village, because we want to start the village tomorrow, we have brought our machines down to top up so that we can lay the curves, redo it and redo that particular road very well up to a level, a place that we can continue from here to the Organizer Junction. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving us this information. So for residents here in Sakmono, I bet you'll be heaving some sign of relief because they are working on the roads. You've been complaining for a while now. So hopefully it will be done within the shop. He's not able to give us a timeline at the moment, but work is going on. This morning they are going to start their excavation work. So this has been a Keep an Eye report from the Sakmono Road here in Sakmono. It's linking Sakmono to Sakmono Village. My name is Jay Gabra. Back to you, Valerie, in the studio.
All right, Jay, thank you. Jay, actually, he gave us timelines. He said 2 to 3 weeks. So let's take 3 weeks, and then in 3 weeks, you'll be there to keep an eye and see where work has progressed and if it is done. So, Jay.
Okay. Yes, and then he spoke about the 17 around about the Shalom Sport. So maybe from here, later on, we'll go and monitor that area as well, because we were there last week to see how the state of the roundabout.
Right. But
they are done with that. We'll just go and take a look at it just to see how work has progressed on that area as well.
Right. Thank you, Jay. But in 3 weeks, we'll be going back to this particular stretch to find out if, true to the contractor's words, in 3 weeks it will be done. We'll go over to our social media handles where T is standing by to read some messages and comments from you, our viewers. T?
Yeah. So quite a few comments coming in on our Facebook stream. Kofi Ajiman, Blackman, I'm watching you inside Pig Farm Accra. Kofi Tipo says, please Kafui, I think the former MP, now EPA boss, is just saying things he himself does not know anything about. The development in the second day na Takrazi twins, it wrote Takrazi in Fanti. It also seems a long time he came to the Twin Cities, so you should just no, we do not encourage such comments here. Someone Okay, now let me just go to the WhatsApp because that one a happy birthday shout. So we'll send the bill to you. Yes, they've seen it. So I'll just move on quickly. When the assembly members are voted, the community will be polarized and will even affect the objectivity in the approval vote for nominated MMDCs. The assembly members need to garner support from all fronts of the community in order to deliver in their work, and their political neutrality only fosters that and even helps check the bias of politically elected MPs in the interest of community development as far as resource distribution and opportunities for the communities are concerned. So you did not tell us your name, but that's what you're sharing with us. Here's one that says, so will the people of Sancho Kofi Akpafu Lolobi Alikpe pay property rate and business operating permits? If yes, to which office? Honorable Kukufu is okay with the Fix the Country demonstration, but why is it that law students were spread with hot water? The police administration must also check the conduct of the assistant police. It isn't easy to get a meter at Nsawam ECG. I can attest to that, because as for Nsawam ECG, everything political in Ghana isn't good. Assemblymen should not be on partisan basis. J. Gabra, we can't see any construction materials there. So that was for the keep an eye that Jay just brought us from the Sakumono area. And I was looking through the social media comments that we have on our Facebook stream. So Felix Minta is saying, good morning, breakfast show. Iconic Ghana's Agric Minister has indeed done it again through his ministry. He has been able to resettle affected persons. So he's sending lots of greetings to Dr. Usefriye and calling him a generational thinker. Hashtag the legend. Wow. So that's Felix Minte's comments. So everything you're seeing on the screen, you can actually see on our Facebook page. So go there, leave your comments. It's very interactive. And you can follow all of GBC's other programs live there as well. And GBC is the authentic and trusted voice of Ghana. You're watching the breakfast show on GTV, and we have just been reading through your messages. Very shortly, I'll have that sit down with the Minerals Commission, as we do every Wednesday morning, to talk about everything in relation to regulations, rules and regulations in the mining and minerals sector of the country. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back to continue with the program. Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
You're still watching Breakfast Show on GTV. The hashtag is hashtag GTV Breakfast. We are proud of our sponsors, Awake Mineral Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Adunko Next Level Energy Drink. Thanks to Barbara's Couture for my lovely outfit. Follow her on Facebook, Barbara's Couture, or on Instagram, Barbara_Couture GH, and buy from her, basically. Your birthday messages. Edith Jessica Carla, GBC Youth President, happy birthday to you today. Yvonne Otuboateng in Grace, England, today is your birthday as well, and I know you watch the Breakfast Show every morning. Good morning, Grace, good morning, England, and happy birthday to you, Oba Midopa. And we are having this sit down with the Minerals Commission, as we always do on this segment, and today we are going to continue our discussions on the Minerals and Mining Health and Safety, as well as the Technical Regulation 2012 LI 2182. Last week we looked at the Inspectorate Division of the Commission and what their work is, what their functions are, and what their powers are with regards to those who flout the regulations as made available in the regulation LI 2182. Today, I'm welcoming Mr. John Amwenyi once again to the studio. Good morning and welcome. He is Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission, and today we'll be looking at quarry operations as well as the challenges of that sector. You can join the conversation across our social media handles. Send your questions and comments, even if it's an interest, to our Facebook platforms. You've seen them on the screen. Careful reading some of the messages out loud, or get interactive with us on our WhatsApp number 055 5561034 055 5561034. Mr. Amwenyi is seated. Welcome, boss.
Thank you very much.
So we are talking about quarries and their operations today. To the layman, what does that mean? What is the quarry operation and how exactly does it operate?
Okay. So in the first place, we need to know the quarry, which is very, very important. So the quarry is a place where minerals such as granite, limestone, etc. are extracted from the surface of the earth. And then looking at the operations, before we just get to the operations, you will need certain documents to allow you to operate. And then you will need the restricted mining lease, that is the quarry license. You also need the EPA permit, that is the Environmental Protection Agency permit. You need the mining operating permit from the Minerals Commission, as well as the explosive permit, the permit to buy explosives and then use explosives at the quarry site. And then lastly, you need the business operating permit from the assembly. So you need all those things before you can operate.
Okay. How many permits have you mentioned so far?
I've mentioned
about five. Yes. You need all of them.
You need all before
and
you can just operate.
You get all of them from different offices.
Yes, you get all of them.
Okay, so
because
talk us through that process.
Before I just talk you to the, I want to just go on the operation.
Okay.
Because the quarry is basically you do drilling and then you blast. So normally, if the place is such that there is no overburden, there's no soil on the rock, that one you just do the drilling, you charge with explosives, and then you blast. So after blasting, you move the material to the crushes, various crushes. We have the various crushes, and then we sizes or screen. We use the screen to do the sizing. So we have the various, and then that is what we call the chippings and all the aggregates. So from there on, we move. It becomes a marketable, so we just market it to the
okay, so is this what a quarry site would look like?
Yes.
From what we can see on the screen?
Okay, so, okay. Yeah, that is the quarry site here. You could see the quarry face, and then you could see some of the materials on the ground. That is the blasted material on the ground.
So all this are in the ground, and then the blast will cause them to break apart, and then we can use them for different
purposes. If you look at this one, at the top, they will do the drilling. So this one, you could see there is a topsoil. The topsoil, you have this plantation on the topsoil. You move all those things, and then you have a rig, J-rig, which we use to drill the holes, various holes, and then we put in the explosives, and then we blast. So if you blast, you could see the face, and then you see the material on the face. But this one, you could see that they have moved a lot of the material from the face. Yeah. So that is the operations.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're talking about all the permits that you would need to be able to do something like this, and you've mentioned 5 of them. I'm asking, where do you get what?
Okay, for the requirement for getting the license, that is the basics, because the license, the quality license, the restricted mining lease or the quality license is issued by the minister, but all the facilitation is done by the Minerals Commission. So before you get the license, you have to buy the form from the Minerals Commission, and then it should be done in a person or a representative of the applicant. So in the form, we have various requirements we need to use to fill the form. So that is where we have to we start with the particulars of the applicant. So the registered name of the applicant, and then the physical, and then the registered physical, and then postal addresses of the applicant. And then we have the official telephone number, official fax, and then the email addresses. And then we also move into, we need to also complete with we need to ensure that you are body incorporated. So certified copies of the documents, of the documents under the Companies Act. That is 1963 at 179, or the Incorporated Private Partnership Act, which is 1962 at 152, or they registered under any other indictment in force. So that is the other aspect of this. And then also the copies, the certified copies of the company's regulations, and the details of shareholding and the directors of the company. You also need to mention the number of blocks. The number of blocks. If I say the blocks, the area. So it's in hectares or in a square kilometer. And then also the cadastral coordinates, that delineating the area being applied for. You also need that one. And then also, other things is the mineral to be mined. You see, we talk about the mineral. We have various types of minerals. So we need to also mention the mineral to be mined. Also, the particulars of the qualifications and experience of the manager and other members of the technical team also need to be mentioned. We also need to include the feasibility report. If I say the feasibility report, that's the comprehensive program. And then this one, we have the guideline. You have to do it through the Minerals Commission guidelines.
So what we are seeing on the screen, can you explain some of what we are looking at to us?
So this one, they are just moving this. They have the mobile crashes, and then you see also the trucks. See the mobile crasher. So we just move the boulders. After blasting, we move the bigger material, which we call the boulders, to the mobile crasher. And then you could see that it has been broken down, and then it's going through the crusher, which has reduced the material into these particular sizes. So I'm saying you need to just sizes depending on what we need. So we have half-inch, quarter, quarter, and then so on and so forth. And then the continuation of the requirement, you also need the particulars of the financial resources of the applicant. It's very, very important. We need to know the financial resources of the applicant. And then also there's any evidence that appropriate fee has been paid, that is the processing fee. Also how the applicant will also employ and then train the Ghanaians need to also be included. And then if it is a convention, if it is a convention, at times you need to do the prospecting before you move into get to the mining lease. So if it is you've gone to the restricted mining lease or restricted prospecting license, then you need to give a certified copy of the restricted prospecting license. So you need to just give all those things. So all these things need to be given. The commission will just do the review of all these things. So at this point, your application is termed as a pending, because they need to do the plotting on the cadastral map, and then also they need to just involve the other stakeholders. So this time, they will just publish a notice of the pending application in the Gazette. And then based on this one, they will send a copy of the notice to the district assembly, that is the various stakeholders, the district assembly or the rightful owner. They will also send to the administrator of still lands, the lands commission, and then the offices of the district where the material is being mined. They will also post at the commission's notice board for people to just see, and then also publish in the newspapers. And then this one will take about 21 days. If there is no objection on this one, then the commission will wait for 30 days after this, and then do the recommendation to the minister.
It sounds like a very in-depth procedure, and yes, a very, very demanding of time and the appropriate documents. How long would you likely estimate that a license or an application for a license could be started and completed?
If all things move on smoothly, by 90 days, you need to get your license.
90 days.
Yes, you need to
okay,
get it. And
why?
You see, you were saying on the period and so on and so forth. You see, we are talking about this type of operation. And then you need to involve every stakeholder. And then you are also talking about the land. So the land issues, what the operator is going to do, the blasting issues and all those things. So we need to involve all the stakeholders for them to commit themselves, so that people will not see the Minerals Commission who has given these people should mine. No, we need to just involve everybody, and then we need to get no objection from the district assembly from any person before we can move on to do the recommendation to the minister.
And why do you need all these details? You are asking for feasibility study reports, financial records, the exact mineral to be mined, personal details of the person, and they should even appear in person. Why
a person or a rep? We need to know. We need to know you. We need to know whether you have the funds to do this operation, because we don't want any person mining. Last time I was just telling that the mining is very strategic and it's also capital intensive, so we don't want to allow anybody. People will just get in, and then at a point they will just stack the material. They will not even move on. And we also need to know you particular, that we should know every aspect of you. The company, if I say you, is the company I'm just talking about. It's not the individual. We need to know your company. We need to know everything you are doing. And then also people, based on this, people also get to know you. And then, as I said, we need to involve the EP. You need to get the EPA. EPA need to be involved. The district assembly need to be involved. And then also the area the mining is going to take place also need to be involved for them all. But in the first place, before even you start, I just wanted to just explain certain things. If you identify the rock, always need to ensure that it's far away from the community, at least 500 meters. It's very, very important, because that is normally the impact we are talking about, because the only means you can use to extract this particular mineral is to blasting for now. So always you need to ensure that where you are going to set up is far away from the community.
Because there are people who do not apply the rules as they should when it comes to mining in such situations like operations. So the communities are the ones who suffer from the environmental hazards,
yes,
dust and noise pollution, right?
Yes.
And then what happens in those?
That's why we are saying we don't want the operations to be closer to the community. We don't want the operation to be closer to the community because of this, what you are saying, because of all these things, because by all means you need to blast. And then the blasting, you have this vibration. As a result, you have something called air blast. That is the air overpressure. You see, we have the fly rocks. Even if you blast, some of the rocks can just throw. So all these things are taken into consideration. That's why we are saying, because of the danger nature of the operation, people should be closer to this particular operation.
And for those who do not go by the rules, do you even have companies? How many companies do we have registered in Ghana who provide these mining services or who engage in this activity?
Well, for those having a license, hopefully we will have about average about 150.
150 registered.
150. But those people, they have a permit. It's 79.
79.
But we have this, and some of them have been encroached by the people, because if the people encroach at a point, you cannot do anything. We are talking about the social license.
Okay.
So at a point, you cannot do anything. All that you need to do is to just give up.
Okay. Okay. We are talking to the Minerals Commission, and we are having a conversation on quarry operations. We are looking into the challenges in the subsector. The Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, Mr. John Amwenyi, is with me at the table, and you can send your comments about this discussion, this topic, to our WhatsApp number 055 556134. We are also on social media, so we are streaming on Facebook, we are streaming on YouTube, we are on Twitter, and we are on Instagram. The hashtag to follow is hashtag GTV Breakfast. So come along with me on this conversation. Maybe you have an interest in doing this as a business, and you need to listen to the details of what you need to put together in order to make that happen. Mr. Amwenyi, I want to find out also what apart from the negative impact of the communities, who assumes the responsibilities? Is it the company or the Minerals Commission? And what's the procedure to rectify some of the damage that is done if it comes to notice that it has happened in any community?
So if it comes to notice that there has been a damage, it's the operator. That is another issue, is on the operator. Operator need to just ensure that all those things have been rectified. That is why at a point, if the encroachment becomes too much, you cannot operate again. Even the cost involved. And then this thing can also kill. You see, so we don't want people to come closer to where you see, the land use of any particular assembly is determined by the assembly physical planners. So moment the rock is identified at any particular assembly, all that the assembly should do is that those 500 radius of the rock, there shouldn't be any residential distance. You can do a farming, you can do so many things, but for the residential building and other things, we don't encourage that thing to
okay, now we are talking about a certain type of rock or certain types of rocks that we identified for such use in quarry operations. What are they, and what exactly are the uses for even the materials that we get from the operations that the quarry companies provide?
So mostly we have the granite. Mostly we have the granite. We also have the limestone. And then if you look at the granite, you see it's everything. Look at our flyover, the Pokwasi flyover. About 90% of the material is from this granite. Look at the harbor. So the sea defense, you see defense. So if we don't protect this at a point,
so those huge rocks that we see maybe at Jamestown, Colegon, or other coastal communities, it's all granite, product, and they get them from quarry operations.
And then also, we use it to break water. If you go to the ports, the harbors, you could see they have just divided the water. You could see the water, and you could see the materials there. So we use this material or this type of rock to just do the breakage of the distance. And the building, I will not even talk about our buildings, the bridges, your dam, the Bui Dam. When they were constructing the Bui Dam, they were having a quarry closer to, and then also buying some of the quarry material from Balkesi, from Kumasi, Balkesi. They were just buying some because normally they will do the test. So if the material is not suitable for that particular or job, then we need to just find one which is, because some of the quarry, some of the granite, some are welded, then some are very strong.
Okay, so those are for granite uses. You mentioned limestone as well.
The limestone, we see that for the cement production, the clinker production. So that's why I said most of our building, most of everything is from this material, either from the limestone, either from the granite, and then so your building. Here, if you want to look at this area, you can see that most of these things are from this quarry. And then if we don't protect these quarries, then we know we cannot also export this thing. God has given to us. So why not protecting this mineral?
And how do we ensure that everybody plays by the rules? And I ask this question every week because there are always elements in every sector who do not follow the laid down procedures.
So we have the inspectors. Last time we have the inspectors they will just go there and then just look at what actually they are doing, their operations, and then just advise them. If they go contrary, we will just sanction them. But
what kind of sanctions are we looking at? Withdrawal of the license?
We can just, that one we can just, the permit. We issue the yearly permit.
Which is renewable?
Yes, renewable. Every year we need to just renew. Even the license we need to, the license you have up to them, you have up to 15 years, but normally they give them give them about 5 years for them that is renewable. So if you go contrary to the regulation, this one you'll be sanctioned. We need to ensure that your operations are dust-free. Okay. Because you use the suppression system. The blasting activities also need to be controlled. You need to just do the charging, cause something powder factor. You shouldn't load the hose in such a way that it will cause this vibration. And then we have the standards for this threshold of the vibration. We have an equipment we use to monitor all those things here. So if you exceed the threshold level, what we come in and then just advise you. If you are putting on more, number of holes are many, you reduce the number of holes. If your charge density or your powder factor is higher, you reduce the powder factor. So all those things is the inspectors, they go there to do the advice of this. The major issue we have is the encroachment, which we need to the subsequent this we will talk more into.
Yes, I'm sure that we will, Mr. Amwenyi. I was just about to come to that. How do we even protect the site and ensure that even unqualified persons do not get access to the site and to also do all this? But we will shelve that conversation, I'm sure, maybe for the next conversation, for the next discussion we'll have next Wednesday. Mr. John Amwenyi, thank you so much for being here once again. Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines at the Minerals Commission. He's been talking to us about quarry operations. As we do here every Wednesday morning, we throw the spotlight on mining and mining activities. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about the health and safety regulation, that is LI 2182. And next week, we'll be here to look at another aspect of quarry operations, and we'll bring you all the details with Mr. Amwenyi and his team in that discussion. Thank you for your time. Let me quickly remind you that President Akufo-Addo will be addressing the UN General Assembly today. He is in the United States, he's in New York. He will be addressing the UN General Assembly, and that will be around noon Ghana time, and GBC will be broadcasting that address live. So you need to keep an eye on your screens today. We'll be streaming it on our social media page as well. And so you can also send your questions and comments to that platform, and we will air it out for you. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll look into capacity building for journalists. And the GJ president and his team are in the house, and we'll be back to have that convo. Stay with us.
Everybody know.
now filling with underground water has become a dangerous site as residential units are spreading around the area. How are they holding the company accountable in filling that death trap? Tell me, you should see this. I didn't even know that there was an inspectorate like that to check these things. Has his outfit failed? We shall send the messages to him. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Keep them coming in, and I'll see a little bit more. Okay. All right. So you're enjoying the show, giving us some feedback. First time you're enjoying the show in some months now due to the intermittent breaks in the digital transmission. Let your technicians do something about it. So you're talking about Cape Coast. So we'll look at our signal in Cape Coast. This is what we want. Tell us what's happening so we can send our people there. So you are our eyes on the ground. Okay. More messages. Good morning. What happens where citizens build close to places that have been already acquired? I guess that's feedback from Thelma's conversation with Mr. Amwanyi. So we want to check that out later on. We'll send all the messages to them. So keep them coming in, 055-556-1034. I think I can now just switch everything back to my people in a short while. Let me see what's happening. So if you just want to follow us on Twitter, just look for @the GBC Ghana, @the GBC Ghana. Follow us, and then you can get all the videos, the comments, everything there on Twitter is there. Did I say Twitter? Twitter. So it's right there. So you can see there's feedback on some of the comments. The 4 police officers who were interdicted, the police had come there to arrest some people who were involved in power theft, but suddenly they started beating everybody around. That's a comment from Mutala Isa, our man on the ground in the northern region, who I spoke to earlier on today. So the comments are there, and then you can also see the trends. So yeah, hashtag sex life. It's not mine. It's a Shatawale's new track. It's trending on the top there. And then you have Otto Addo. He may be our coach. He may be. If we don't go for the white guy, we'll go for the black guy. And the video is trending. Fix the Country is trending. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So follow us @the GBC Ghana. At this point, I think I want to hand over to Thelma, who has some interesting conversations about capacity building journalists.
Indeed we do, Kaf. That screen is just another dimension to this whole thing. I'm loving it already. Look at all the comments that we put on Twitter. Yeah, so people ask us all the time, what's your Twitter handle? It's right there now.
@the GBC Ghana.
So that's as interactive as it gets on GTV Breakfast. I would be interested to read what the trends are saying for Otto Addo, and I'll check on it very, very shortly, because I'm not sure we'll have enough time to get into it. But if we're talking about coaches, you know, Basawitu, we are sacking our coach. But
sacking.
Before I get into that, do you know you can play games and check out of boredom? Join MyBet.Africa now and enter bonus code GTV for a bonus to play more games, virtual soccer, MyBet League, spin to win, drops and wins, and other exciting games. Grab a 100% money back on the first lost bet placed after making a deposit. Join the truly Ghanaian home of betting now. MyBet.Africa, the home of betting. And you're watching GTV Breakfast. Thanks also to our sponsors, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Awaken Mineral Water. We are sitting down for this part of the NATA on capacity building for journalists, and the media plays a crucial role in influencing societal behaviors through provision of relevant information, and to enable journalists to discharge that important duty to the fullest, they need the capacity to build and enhance their jobs. And the GJA, so the Ghana Journalists Association, in collaboration with Knackford University College, are granting scholarship every year to journalists across the country to undertake free intensive diploma programs in communication and governance. So that university is what the partnership with GJ is what we are about to have the conversation on. With me at the table from my far left, GJ President, Mr. Roland Afel-Moni, former Director of Radio at GBC as well. So welcome back home, homecoming.
Thank you, yes.
Lady in the middle, Madame Gladys Baini. She's an alumni of that university that is offering the scholarship in partnership with the GJA. Gladys, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And right next to me, Bishop John Kwabna Esel. He is a rector of the Knoxville University College, and he's also the founder of the university. So they have joined us in the studio to talk about what this capacity building would mean for journalists. So if you're a journalist, you want to keep an eye on this conversation, join us on our interactive social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are also on YouTube. So remember, your comments can also go to our WhatsApp line 055 55 So let me start with you, Mr. Money, because you are the GJA. What's the gap you're seeking to plug with the capacity building program that you're entering into this partnership for? Did you identify any lapses in the system already, and so you think this needs to stop and this is how we do it?
Certainly, yes. In fact, research has shown that confidence in the media is on the wane, whilst perpetration of mediocrity is on the rise. And it is not enough to bemoan the disturbing situation. We felt we ought to take a bold step to help address this issue from the roots and not the branch. Thankfully, National University rallied to our aid with this package aimed at capacitating journalists, and as we said, to bridge the gap between those who are doing well and those who are not doing well. But many years ago, the famous American editor and publisher Joseph Pulitzer said, and I quote, that journalists are educated and not born. Pulitzer said a huge controversy by that statement, because in those years, about 200 years ago, it was fashionable for journalists to be trained by osmosis or to learn on the job. So Pulitzer was pelted with all kinds of verbal stones for saying the unsayable. So if you situate what he said to us now, you can tell, easily say that Pulitzer has been vindicated. In fact, the challenges, the complexities, the blunders, the perpetration of mediocrity, all vindicate the rectitude of that statement, that we ought to be educated and re-educated. We ought to be trained and retrained. It is true, some are born with linguistic mastery, they can speak well. Some are born with literary embroidery, they can write well. Some are anointed at birth, they can perform miracles. But even pastors who are anointed need training in theology. So journalists, irrespective of our gift, we ought to be capacitated, we ought to be trained and retrained. So the training with the partnership with National University is predicated on this principle, that we need to train our journalists more often than before. But training is of first importance to the GTA, which I heard and which I'll soon hand over, because of the reference I made to the loss in confidence in the media and what we see, the unethical practices which tend to overshadow the ethical practices we all desire to see and hear and read.
Exactly the point I wanted to pick on, that the GJA is the umbrella body for journalists, but it's also a voluntary organization like any organization. So how then do you monitor to ensure that the performance, so for example, this partnership that you're seeking to do, how do you ensure that it births the results that you're looking for, when even currently maintaining a grip on the performance and the confidence that is waning is proving to be quite challenging?
You know, we as of Christian charity, we don't discriminate in offering such learning opportunities to our people. Whether you are a member or you are not a member, it is free. Once you want your skills to be honed, once you want your capacity to be enhanced, we give you the opportunity to do so. It is free. And this applies to all the programs we do, training programs we organize across the country. We don't only target our members because we know that, like a Malian proverb says, no one finger can hold the face, can wash the face. No one finger can wash the face. Indeed, it only takes only DJ members to certify media consumers in such a way as we all desire. So we as I said, it's a voluntary organization, and we are not clothed with power to ensure that everybody becomes a member. So, but at the same time, we believe that the deeds or misdeeds of journalists can have a bearing on their media landscape altogether, and also affect other dimensions of national life.
Let me bring Bishop in here. What are you hoping to provide for those who would take part in this capacity building?
Well, thank you very much. As Mr. President said, we want to help to bridge that gap. And what we are bringing on board is to package courses in leadership and also governance. And we are trying to focus in these two very areas because of the role media play, especially regarding our politics and our general peace. And so, apart from giving some brief technical details of the course, the program mainly focuses on
leadership and governance.
Responsible leadership.
Okay, and is it going to run in sessions, or are we going to have like streams, semester system? What's the time?
Oh, this is a special program package for 13 weeks, and because of your busy nature, you're doing
rolling out this program and others. And as the citation says, for